Hello everyone and welcome to episode 18 of Disco Elysium. As always, especially in these later episodes, we want to make sure that we establish a spoiler warning early. If you clicked on this by accident or some autoplay took you here, do be aware that this is episode 18, and being several dozen hours in, we are deep into main story spoilers, so I'll give everybody a chance to duck out real quick. With that said, as of our last episode, we suffered a really important failure. There are very few sort of like skill checks or decision points that I am more inclined to want to reload and replay than when I inspire a character to commit suicide, because it feels like, among other things, whatever other content might have been tied to that person is now permanently cut off. We had a 72% chance to talk Ruby out of taking her own life. I rolled the dice and did not roll high enough. And as of the last episode, she's down. For anybody that's coming in or has been keeping count, I believe there are exactly 2 points in the game where I have reloaded. I might be forgetting one, but we were trying to remember here the other day. Number 1, I straight up died, which was a game over, so we reloaded past that, but then tried to account for, like, I still made the bad decision, just not with that specific consequence where the game could not continue. And then B, there was one time where I was like, okay, this stupid freezer in the basement, I just want to make sure that I'm not missing something incredibly obvious, and I turned the crank on the ice cream maker and nothing happened, so I reloaded past that because I was very deeply uncomfortable about doing it. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't like ignoring the solution that was right there in my face and I was misunderstanding the situation, because I don't know anything about mixing ice cream. Like, maybe I was just misunderstanding what the mechanism did. But when that had no discernible effect at all, I reloaded and continue to believe to this day that if I had turned that ice cream crank, I would have damaged the contents of the freezer. I do not know if that's true, and, we will unpack some of the choices not taken maybe at the end of the stream. However, we are at the beginning of this one, so we're going to jump in and... sorry, that was all a big preamble to say we're not reloading what's happened here. We were able to knock over her low-frequency pain generator. I'm completely out of health items, so we're going to have to deal with that. And I cannot interact with her at all. Dark water trails into the distance. There is no way out. And down here, 1800 is 5 p.m.? I think? No, it would be 6 p.m. I'm so bad at military time, you guys, and lazy to do math. Cooking utensils. She's prepared herself porridge with bananas. Oh boy. Bananas go well in a lot of things. I'm not sure that porridge immediately sounds like one of them.
The plain red tent stands by dispassionately. It was pitched by practiced hands. She was used to camping out.
Let's look inside.
You see a rolled-up sleeping bag and personal belongings.
We should put her in the sleeping bag, so the rats don't get to her.
Let's do it.
The lieutenant nods.
You can do a better job than that, man, if you don't want the rats to get to her. If this is for some reason... Hello to Posimic Dartboard. Yes, 6 p.m. Sorry, I thought he was saying 8 a.m., like we're streaming very early, which is correct. But no, he says 6 p.m. Pasta, I hope that you're having a great Monday, and if you're in the United States, hopefully have a day off from work or school or whatever. Sorry, I'm very distracted by the fact that her hand is out. Like, did I fail a roll there?
There she lies, cocooned in the sleeping bag, surrounded by empty cigarette packs, books, and half-read magazines.
How would I know they're half-read?
Magazines. You should look through them.
Shine your flashlight on the books and magazines. I'm very glad that I have my flashlight out.
Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp horror. A motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover. On another, a ghost airship. You also see a collection of radio enthusiast magazines.
See anything?
The lieutenant peeks in over your shoulders. Let's sift through the magazines.
Rhaegar Monthly, Journal of Material Science. More Technological Digest. One of the magazines doesn't have images on the cover. It's not a magazine. It's a leather notebook.
Take it.
You pocket the worn brown leather journal.
We should read this immediately, like right now.
Okay, Kim, I will defer to your judgment. You know what else? I know that he... Okay, I'm going to do this right now, but also I have a bullet, like, right here that I never looked at and really should have before we came down here. So we're going to do that next, but I want to make sure that I don't accidentally sequence break something. Ruby's Journal. A well-loved journal with a brown leather cover and the brand name Schneller embossed in the back. It seems to have served as a loyal friend to a lonely traveler. I've never done journaling. I admire people that do. I don't know. Let's do interact.
A thick journal. The cover is worn like someone used to carry it around in their back pocket.
It's a magical day. Let's just examine it from the outside first.
It's made of full-grain leather. The lower left corner of the back cover sports an embossed brand name, Schneller. Schneller is a stationery brand from Gottwald, beloved among architects and engineers.
I gotta say, if I was ever to replay this game, I don't think I would invest very many points in Encyclopedia, but on a first playthrough, it's actually very useful for filling in some details about the world and the culture and other things. You know, it's very rarely super important to, like, the main story, but in terms of world building, Encyclopedia has actually been very helpful.
She had good taste and must have taken what she recorded here seriously.
All right, let's move on.
The journal falls open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages have been filled.
I don't know that I put a lot of stock into handwriting analysis, but let's do examine it.
The large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently, perhaps too confidently. Many phrases and even paragraphs have been crossed out, with tiny corrections scrawled above and in the margins.
The corrections would be very interesting to me personally, because it's like, what did she put down that then later she felt was important enough to strike through and amend, as opposed to simply like adding new information on a different page. Let's flip through the pages.
It's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams, and personal reflections, all dated.
We could learn a lot from this.
What kind of logistics are in here?
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code. Looks like contact information, quantities, directions.
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my station who's good with codes. I can give this to her after we finish this.
So I'd assume that this information is relevant to the drugs that she was running. What are the diagrams of?
Esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor, sketches, calculations of distance and density. You make out a familiar spiral shape.
I don't see anything in here. A familiar spiral shape. Do I know about any familiar spiral shapes in this game? Nothing that super comes to mind. I'm gonna go with how far back do the entries go.
The first entry is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is precarious. All I can do is make myself as useful as I can while looking for a way out. Remember, no one is indispensable.
Is there anything personal in here?
Short, wry observations of people and places. Probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also, what appears to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are a few passages with many questions in them. Staff issues. Always tough on the leadership. You smell traces of betrayal.
Staff issues. So she was questioning the leadership of the Union, would be my interpretation of that. That's not super clear. Did she write anything on the day, or what did she write on the day that Lely died?
Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though. Well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. Loyal to a fault. Except, But that's another matter entirely. She is referring to betraying her previous employer. Does this suggest she did it in self-defense?
Okay, anything about La Putra Madre. Now, that is, again, to help everybody catch up, apparently, one thing that Ruby strongly believed is that my character, Harry Dubois, is not only a detective of some amount of personal baggage and pain, but also a member of a death squad, and that he arrived here with a blonde guy, a woman, and we think that those are the two people that are hanging out in the Whirling in Rags, but then there's a third unaccounted for guy in the group. There's Harry, there's the blonde guy in the terrible blonde wig, and then there's a third person. And I don't know who that is yet.
That name isn't mentioned as far as you can tell.
Oh, sorry, and I apparently La Putra Madre is Puta Madre. I keep putting an R in there. La Puta Madre is the syndicate boss or whatever that we're all operating on behalf of.
Small wonder. Would you talk about La Puta Madre in your journal? You do see an M, though. La Puta Madre. M is mentioned on March 9th and March 15th.
Let's read the entry from March 9th first. Notice that there's no option here to skip directly to March 15th. Let's read the entry from March 9th.
Great. M's peon is coming to town, no doubt to investigate the lynching. But also, I feel it in my gut to finally put a bullet in my head while I'm napping in my lorry or on a smoke break. Well, I won't stick around just to twist my own neck by constantly looking over my shoulder. Then again, isn't that what I've been doing ever since I got the call?
Got the call.
Things played out just as she had feared, except you didn't shoot her.
So I'm definitely going to express this is not me. I wouldn't do something like that because I had no intention of harming her. I believed much of what she said and really wanted her to be alive to talk about this. Sorry, I'm pausing on since I got the call. Do we know what that's referencing? The call. Because that's not the phrase that I would use in terms of helping to stage the lynching to make it appear that Lely had been killed. We did find out his name, Ellis something. To make it appear that Ellis had died of hanging. That's not the call that I would reference. So we don't know what the call is yet. This is not me. I wouldn't do something like that.
Maybe it's the old you. Or maybe she was just paranoid. No, not even the old you. No you would do that.
Well, good, Empathy. I'm glad that we're in agreement. So let's read the entry from March 12th.
Been holed up here for 3 days now. I'm used to being alone and all, but I don't know when I'll be able to leave, or if I'll be ratted out. They will rat me out, of course. I've made it a point to believe in the best in people, the boys, for example. But experience tells me, did M feel truly betrayed by me? I was feeling threatened. He'd have to know if he threatened people, they'd take measures to protect themselves. Even I know that. Economic measures first of all. Gotta make a living, right? I can still hear his voice in the receiver. Taste the plastic.
Okay, again, a quick pause to... If M is La Puta Madre, then that's the former employer that she betrayed. Which I feel like that's new information that both... Like, if she worked for La Puta Madre, then that would explain how she knew who Harry was and how she recognized a death squad that had been brought out to take her down so readily.
The entry ends abruptly. The call was a courtesy. He must have held her in high regard to personally tell her he knew about her plan to run drugs for the competition.
What's the most recent entry? Yeah, I don't think that we need to look at the cover again.
The most recent entry is from today. It reads, even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run. Not really my idea of the open road. Man, I was really looking forward to winning.
Well, again, what an odd phrase, looking forward to winning.
I don't think she killed the mercenary. It looks like she might have been framed.
Well, and specifically framed by, Klaasje. Because I'd have to go back and remember exactly what Klaasje said, but Klaasje I want to say that Klaasje directly misrepresented what happened. That she went downstairs, she got Ruby was suspiciously already aware of everything. Ruby was the one who suggested, like, hanging the body up in the shower. Now we come and talk to Ruby, and prior to her death, hello to Tashir, who says, let's get this party started. I really feel like it's Klaasje. Yeah. And we also know, by the way, Klaasje is not the woman who arrived with Harry, because A, she was on site before Harry arrived, and B, she and Ruby were well acquainted from hanging out in the bar together.
This whole thing was a detour, and a fatal one, he thinks.
I don't think she did die for nothing. I think this was a plan. I think that this was all thought of and executed to either... Like, the fact that she died here was probably a happy coincidence, but to get her into police custody with Harry and then the two people in the bar, if they're a death squad, even if Harry didn't take her out, somebody else was going to. So I don't think this was died for nothing. She killed the merc? No. And then turned the gun on herself, case closed, so it's tidy? No. Let's go with, what do you mean framed?
By the Hardy Boys? By Klaasje? By us?
Well, I framed no one. I followed the... Tashir's asking back to work tomorrow? No, I have the rest of this week off. So I have many more days of getting some time in to relax and hopefully decompress from work, because I got to tell you, sometimes you take a vacation and after a while you're itching to get back to it, and other times you're like, no, I'm good with just hanging out for a while. So much at work, but no, thank you very much. And Tashir, if I can ask, how is the remediation in the basement going? I know that you're still hard at work as of yesterday. Or would you say that you're in the back half of that? And hello to Club. I hope that you had some time off. Sorry, quick pause in the game here to say, Club, Jade May came by and said that you were getting ready to take a trip to, I think it was France? I think it's France, but I could be wrong. One way or the other, I hope that you enjoy some very, very well-deserved time off. I'm going to ask him, Kim, am I really a La Puta Madre agent?
No, I don't think you are. Ask someone in your precinct if you want to be sure.
That seems like a super dangerous thing to ask, though. Hey, coworker, am I known to be a member of a criminal organization? Because I don't happen to remember. If the answer is yes and you didn't know about it, please arrest me.
He truly does not believe you are. Perhaps he shouldn't be so trusting.
All right, Kim, who do you think killed the merc? And it... So again, we're doing a lot of little pauses here to recap the plot. Ruby brought up something very important that I guess, I mean, to be perfectly blunt, I never thought of it. And if I had thought of it, I would have assumed... So here's the point. No one in the Whirling in Rags heard a gunshot. So Ruby has concluded that the shot must have been taken from far away, and since we've already ruled out two of the possible locations that it would have been, it must be on the, quote, island that, as far as I know, we have not been to at all, and will probably unlock soon as a place that we can go. I would have assumed that the shot was not heard because there was music and a big party going on downstairs. There were a lot of, lots of talking, lots of drinking, lots of laughing. No pinball machines and no karaoke, we know that much. But sufficient noise that maybe a loud bang someplace wouldn't necessarily have taken a lot of people by surprise. So I wouldn't have thought of that, but Ruby knows the place, or knew the place, much better than we did. She says that nobody heard a gunshot. That seems like a reasonable thing to be concerned about. So she was very convinced that the shot had been taken elsewhere. Italy, that's what it was. Club is leaving for Italy tomorrow. It says hello to Tashir. That's awesome. I desperately need it, says Club. And Tashir says, yes, you do. Thank you again for your service. To which Club says, no problem. Yeah, Club, for real. Enjoy your trip. Savor every minute of it. Visit with the people that you might want to see and enjoy the locations where you want to go, and take as much time as you possibly can to be away from the stresses of work. I'm speaking from a position of authority at this particular moment. It makes a big difference. Okay, so who do you think killed the Merc? Kim.
Could have been Titus. Then again...
But no one heard the shot, is what we got here. Titus could have been framing Ruby. I mean, let's not... If Titus did it, my drama has really failed me. Seems plausible, I don't know. T-Man wouldn't fuck me over. No, we're not that... let me go with no one heard the shot.
Maybe there's a Hardy boy we've yet to meet, who acted as his accomplice. Either way, we need to keep an eye on him. One thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling and rags. Questions to ask. We should get to it.
Now, I very much want to take a look at this bullet. The bullet mushroomed out on impact and now looks more like a fanciful jacket button than something that could pierce skin, flesh, and bone. To, again, reset for us, this is the bullet that was fired into Lely's head from the inside of his mouth. He... Well, okay, we know the story that we were told. He and Clausia, the story that we were told is that he and Clausia were engaged in flagrante I totally screwed that up. In flagrante delicto, as they say, when they say it properly. And he sort of like raised his head, and a shot came in the window, went up through the top of the inside of his mouth into his brain pan, and splintered apart, so there was no exit wound. And he was just dead on the spot with actually very little collateral damage to anything else. That was either incredible happenstance or a super professional sniper shot, and I've always believed the latter. Now, I've believed for a long time that it was a shot taken by one of the mercs who, I mean, who else is trained in that way? But I don't know. So anyway, let's take a look at the bullet.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found.
Okay, I'm actually going to exit this real quick. I want to make sure, like, empathy is not going to help us with this bullet, right? Nor is drama. So, nor is rhetoric. I don't need that. I need a shirt that is good for, like, visual calculus or something. I don't think I need encyclopedia. Visual calculus is great. I don't need that tie. Do I have any other shirts? Conceptualization. Yes. Perfect. Let's put that on. And I don't think I need empathy so much as I need perception for this bullet. So we're going to put on perception boots. Composure. I don't think composure is going to be very helpful, but my only other pairs of pants don't help. And then in terms of the neck, drama, not helpful. So I'd go with this that gives me a point of Inland Empire and Volition. I don't think that's handy for looking at evidence, nor is Shivers, nor is Horrific Necktie. I feel like, yeah, I'm going to put on this weird bolo tie thing. That feels like the most sensible thing. Okay, this is my good investigating outfit. Let's take a look at the bullet now. Okay.
The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp.
Club is saying, I'll be sitting at the beach drinking pina coladas all day and just forget about everything for a while. That's awesome. Tashir says that's exactly what you should be doing. The rest of the world doesn't exist. Club says, even though my week off started today, already got called by a colleague to fill in a form. So from tomorrow on, oh, that's really disappointing, Club. I worked very hard to get things set aside and completely finished before I stepped out on vacation. Tashir says, forms I can do. Shifts? Hell no. Club said, I have to drive to work to it because the head nurse hadn't come in yet. That's I hope they give you back those hours of vacation or something, because that does not feel fair. Okay, what do I do with you, Bullet?
What?
The lieutenant steps closer. I said, what do I do with you, Bullet?
Well, if I was the Bullet, which I'm not, I would say find the weapon that shot me.
That's a very good idea.
If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim. In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
Let's feel the bullet through the bag. This is why I wanted, like, interfacing and all that stuff.
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge.
So this makes it much less likely that it was fired from my gun, which at this moment is still... We have a lead, but I don't have it in my hand. Let's inspect the bullet closer.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
Look at the jacket.
You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard.
And the core?
It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
What can you say about the bullet so far?
I'm going to say the thing, because I don't know what this means. Like, yeah, it is impressive that my character knows something. That's refreshing. But I'm going to say what it is. It's a jacketed bullet close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
A jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader, like those typically found on the streets of Martinez.
Highly unusual. The people of Revachol haven't carried breech-loading weapons like this for nearly half a century.
Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it.
Something tells you that won't be any time soon. This'll have to be one of those epic tasks that's open for a while.
Okay, I'm going to try this. I've got an 83% shot at this. Now, part of me wants to take some speed, but if I do that, I die because I don't have any health bonuses. I could wait and take speed later. The only other thing, let me just put it away. Let me just see if I have anything else to assist with hand-eye coordination, because I'm pretty sure I actually do. So, let me go back to clothes. I think I have, like, a pinball maker's jacket. Yeah, +1 to hand-eye coordination. Let me make sure that I'm not losing anything else here that I want to do. Yep, so that gets me up to +1. Alright, so that should be up into, like, the 92%. I will take every percentage chance that I possibly can.
The bullet is still safely
92%. Let's hit
in a
it.
plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. A rifle, Revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique or a retrofitted antique.
What make?
The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theater of the anti-centennial revolution 50 years ago. Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you. The dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area. It's unusable, sadly. If it were, the bullet would probably fit the chamber.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Everything that was described is a match for the rifle that we found in the basement. Now, the one that we found was not usable. That's not to say it was the only rifle that used to be in that chamber. Maybe somebody found one that was still usable. Is anyone still making these rifles?
No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling.
Who uses Belmargrave rifles these days?
Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for the same thing you found in that hidden weapons cache. only in working order.
What are you thinking? Bullet?
I think I know where this came from.
Okay. And?
Why? It's just hard for me to bend my mind around the idea of somebody not sharing this information with Kim, unless we're meant to suspect for any reason that Kim's in on it, which... No. Sorry. I very briefly thought, what if Kim is the other guy that he arrived with? A, Ruby would have recognized him. B, I don't think that anybody in this universe would describe Kim as being a big burly guy, which is how that other person, the unknown third guy, was described. The shot probably came from a Bell Margrave rifle.
An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez, or anywhere in Revachol, really.
The why not is probably because of the revolution, that a lot of them would have been confiscated or destroyed, so that's probably a good thing.
I have to hand it to the monarchs. It's quite admirable that they took the advice of criminologists last century and banned the use of breech loaders in peacetime. Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzle loaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons, but they realize it's worth it in the end.
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced by the Moralist International in all the nations of the Real Belt.
So my responses are worth what getting shot. Also, Club is saying that in at least where he works, the average shift is about 8 hours, but sometimes 9 or 10. And as Tashir says, that sounds a lot less bad than I was thinking. That's still like a 9 or 10 hour shift is still very, very long. But I feel like here in the United States, it's very common for medical professionals to work like 12 or 14 hour shifts. And I don't understand that. I don't understand why that's a thing. I don't understand. Like, it feels like there's so much of a push to fill nursing and doctoring positions that, like, all I'm saying is that I would not feel particularly comfortable having important, sensitive, potentially dangerous medical situations tended to by someone who has been on their feet for 14 hours. Like, it doesn't seem humane to me, and I'd much rather have the people that are doing such important work have regular human shifts and appropriate opportunities to decompress, relax, have their own free personal time, and recharge their fun bars, as we say in the Sims. But let's take a quick look here. No. I'm gonna go with makes you consider every shot. I like it, I guess.
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. After the first shot, the second, third, and so on come much easier. But back to the investigation.
Yeah, Kim, imagine if we lived in a world like that. That would sound pretty dangerous, wouldn't it? Okay, let's see. Seems like we're looking for an antiques enthusiast. Someone who recognizes a workable antique for sure, so that's not out. Could the victim have been mixed up with some foreign... That seems like a real stretch. Have well-armed jamrock bangers started crossing over to Martinez? Yes, something mysterious is afoot with this antique bullet type. That's so vague. Let's go with we're looking for an antiques enthusiast, which doesn't necessarily mean that they care about like old couches and sconces, but maybe somebody that recognizes a usable antique gun.
Doesn't seem that likely, but we'll check out all possible leads. Next step, finding the gun itself.
All right, now that seems to be... Now, I really, really wish that I had looked at this before talking to Ruby, because based on the description of her double-barreled shotgun, I could sort of deduce that this bullet was not fired from that. But based on the way that this game is built, there's a 100% chance in my mind that if I'd known these details during that conversation, I would have like talked to her more specifically about that. And maybe if I had verbally ruled her out, she wouldn't have taken this action. And hello to blah blah blah. Club is also saying the resident home where I work is a very special one. When I did my nurse internships, I did a lot of 20+ hour shifts. That seems inhumane. It really does. That is, I admire the fact that you can do that. I don't feel like people who want to be in the nursing profession should be forced to do that. I feel like at a minimum, it makes mistakes more likely, and at a maximum, it's just I have to assume that they are filling in for a lack of manpower. Like, we just don't have enough people, and this is necessary. But pay nurses more. How about that? Get more people in there so that they can fill those shifts and not drive the professionals to the point of the actual absolute brink of human endurance. Sorry, I am preaching to no one here. I rail against bad working conditions when they're presented to me. The bullet has nothing more to say, and for real this time. So now we're going to go back and change back into my regular outfit, which is this, and probably the drama thing. Drama is just good when you have to talk to people. Do I want the mesh shirt? What does this one get me? Oh, no, I don't want that shirt for sure. I specifically dislike the -1 suggestion. So I don't like the -2 authority. The thing I like about the mesh shirt is that it's a bonus with no negative attached to it. Yeah. Oh, and then we got this barrel that I haven't looked at, which has... Oh, +3 health. Thank you. That's super important. Oh, and a gas can. With $8 inside of it. It's not usually where I store my cash, but then again, I haven't had to hang out underneath an abandoned building for several days. So, that appears to be it for this location. Let's actually take a look at our journal. Find them... Whoops. Return to the Whirling in Rags. Return to the Whirling after the whole instigator debacle. Someone there has something to answer to. I think it's Klaasja. Klaasja is the one that told us the most lies so far. I feel pretty good about my good cop, bad cop score of 30. It's not -30. So, find the murder weapon. You need to find the firearm that killed the hanged man. Something tells you it will take some time. You could start by identifying the bullet. Done. So you'd know the weapon that shot it. After that, keep your eyes open and be patient. So, we did the ballistics analysis. We performed an advanced analysis using HE coordination. I don't know what G is. I don't know what that is. Locate a working firearm that shoots 4.46 ammo. Ruby said you were a notoriously corrupt cop, which I can believe. La Puta Madre's peon. I always want to say that as pione, but that's not correct apparently. That's why she was scared of you. When you get the chance, call your station to find out if you dare. That seems very dangerous to me. Let's stop and think. What are the possible outcomes of that? Number one, they say, "Oh, are you? Well, we'll send someone over for you right away," and then that's the end. Number two, they say, "Yes, you are. Wait, do you not remember that you are? We'll send someone for you right away." Like, both of those seem extremely dangerous. And I cannot remember if I said hello to blah blah blah, who says, "Yeah, love is hardcore," doing his best egghead from the church. Also hello to Tachir Games. So I missed the first half hour. Are you at the place that Ruby died? Yes. And so blah blah blah, we have picked up on the following things for anybody else who just needed a quick recap. Number one, Ruby kept a semi-detailed journal. Based on the details in the journal, it seems very likely that Ruby's betrayed former employee was also La Puta Madre. That would make sense because she was running drugs for a rival organization. That would have made La Puta Madre very angry, and it would also explain how she might have recognized Harry and the other 3 members of the death squad immediately on sight. There was nothing incriminating against Ruby in that journal. Everything appeared to back up what she had said. There was a reference to when she got the call. That appears to have been a call from La Puta Madre directly, telling her that she was... that they were coming for her. And as Empathy pointed out, I think, that would indicate that she was a very highly regarded member of the organization because she got a courtesy call letting her know that her time was limited. Basically, make your peace. And that's... it. Now, yes, on our long-term plan for today, it still remains that we want to put Kim to bed, then get the armored boots off of the... I probably don't need to walk anymore. Get the armored boots off of the corpse, and then the next day we want to send Kim off with the body for processing. I really want to do that today, but I want the boots 5% more. Blah blah was saying I was hoping so much that you would do the Egghead voice. Yeah, Egghead had a couple distinctive phrases. One of them just yelling yeah, and that of course was also a hick dog thing. That's his particular phrase, which gets confusing, right? So for anybody that doesn't know, Hick Dog is a fictional character that was invented by my friend HW, and now that goes back up to the roof, so I don't need to go up there. Hick Dog is, for anybody that doesn't know, Hick Dog is sort of positioned as being, like, some might call him a superhero, but he's really more of a individual with superpowers. And the specific power set that he has... Oh man, how do you explain it? Imagine if somebody had all the powers of Juggernaut, plus all the powers of Solomon Grundy, plus all the powers of the Incredible Hulk. And also dressed like a professional wrestler. That's sort of the whole Hick Dog vibe. And his big catchphrase is just shouting, yeah, yeah, like that. Which... it's just exquisite Hick Dog to me. And it causes all sorts of confusion. Like, for example, like the commissioner of police would call up and say, Hick Dog, terrorists are about to steal the crown jewels out of the Statue of Liberty. We need your help. And Hick Dog would just yell, yeah! And the commissioner would say, all right, wait, are you saying, yeah, you'll come help us, or are you just shouting your catchphrase, yeah? I'm confused. And then there would have to be like a whole description phase. So I don't want to go into the church. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by also playing the game. I'm trying to remember. So I want to go to... Sorry, there's so many thoughts going on. I want to go buy some more health items. I know I have 3, but that doesn't feel like enough based on the number of... that I just had to spend to survive that encounter. Who knows how many more health pills I'm going to have to pop, because I've only got the 2 points. You know what I really should do the next time that I get some sort of a point? Which I actually have 3 points now. Which of these things gives me more health points? Endurance. Right? I feel like it's endurance, unless it's just straight up physique. I don't think it is. Wait, do I really want to do this, though? My character's always been really frail. I've been doing okay. I'm gonna hold off. I'm thinking about putting a point into endurance. Oh, and you know what else we should take a look at? I am also thinking 2 thoughts. We are progressing cleaning out the rooms, which is 33% done, and then Wasteland of Reality, which is only 5% done. Here's one thing that I find... I feel like it's a balancing thing, but when we go to bed tonight, those counters, as far as I can see, are not going to advance by the hours that we're asleep. I think that that's a balancing issue it's like a balancing factor to prevent people from just slotting those in immediately before going to sleep so that they avoid a lot of the negatives. Whoa, hold on.
Stop. Now. It is time.
Wait, I don't have, no. Oh, I'm not wearing the stupid, ugly, the horrific necktie. For what?
Crisis. Death. You can feel it in your blue soul.
What am I supposed to do?
Arm yourself with anything you can. Unless you have Nothing. Because you didn't find your lost gun? Then just walk to your death.
Well, I can... Wait, I don't have to go this way. I can hang out... So, we do have a lead on where the lost gun is, and it's not this way. I can turn around, and we can just read a book until I can try to get the gun. Hello to Elf Planitor!
I can talk you out of it, whatever it is.
Oh, rhetoric, but you failed me so many times, including very recently.
You're too likable to die. Don't worry.
I don't trust you. I'm not sure I feel ready for what lies ahead.
Then you'd better get ready. Whatever happens, I've got your back.
Okay. New plan. I'm gonna turn right the hell around. Now, I'm also... Yeah, we can't do that. And we don't need to do that. Oh, I could do this. Let's go look at the wash basin. Yeah, this is a complicated day. Bobby Blast says Kim is a good friend. Yeah, and that's why I ever so briefly had the thought, what if he's also part of the Death Squad? But it doesn't make a lot of sense based on the story that we've gotten so far. And his physical description doesn't match the one that Ruby had. Okay. So, hand-eye coordination. For some reason, this has been white checked, so I'm going to put on the Pinball Maker's code. Let's go look into the wash basin.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
I think this is the wash basin. I don't remember which of these leads to it, so we might blast through some dialogue here pretty quickly.
A lullaby my mother used. Yes, just us. This is pretty.
The place is so pornographically poor, it's not even funny.
So I didn't say this last time because it feels very rude, but this place is so pornographically poor.
The lack of wealth is the one thing we've got in abundance.
Riddles. Fits with the general ambiance here.
Aye. Sometimes it's as though I'm also gotten lost inside this nameless nothing.
I'm lost too.
Oh, it seems to be a common theme these days.
I do think I'm in the process of finding myself these days. The two thoughts that I just showed off in my... So, Club is asking, what kind of game is this actually, Angel? This is a... isometric detective game where we are working on figuring out who killed a guy. Our long-term goal is to figure out the truth of a man who was found hanging from a nearby tree, and we have learned a great deal of information about that. But it has very heavy RPG elements where you spend experience points on these various aspects of both your mind and body. There has been very, very, very little combat or anything combat adjacent. However, it does come up every once in a while, tests of endurance and strength and stuff like that. It's a lot of dialogue checks. It's a very, very dialogue heavy game. Sarzan says, you already missed the spot. Well, I'm not going to read it aloud for people who don't want that information. Okay. I mean, I'm okay not knowing things that might have been missed and so forth. So, I do think that I'm in the process of finding myself again. I don't think that I should stay lost. No. I'm going to say this, because like I said, the two thoughts that I have here are both directly related to me wanting Harry to clean up his life. So we're going to go with this.
Isn't that what people always think when they are lost? Something I can do for you to find your way, officer?
Okay,
Well, there's Lillian.
Lillian,
and then
yep.
there's the...
Met
Lillian
her,
is tough.
met the drunks.
I'm sure you did.
Is there a way to
Nature
make some
keeps
money?
coming Here for
Under carts, boats, in little boxes. It's not hard to find.
It's pretty hard to find. Either that or I found it all.
Over there, you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. An old military hospital and its surroundings. Or it used to be, during the time of the suzerain.
All right, so that's the pox.
After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shock veterans and folks looking for some.
All right, I feel like this is just another path to a dialogue that we already had. What happened to it?
She nods, rinsing another piece of cloth.
How do I maybe I should have checked the map, but I'm 70-ish% sure that this is the basin where I wanted hand-eye coordination. Who exactly are you here?
Now it's your turn, Mr.
Yep.
Whitey-Hand.
She's got a couple of ranks herself. Honored chief and so on.
Not much. Something.
So, they don't hold...
No.
She's not telling you all she knows. Keep her talking.
Yeah, we already did that.
Well, and now?
Those would be the dance music enthusiasts in their tent.
Yep, not anymore. Okay, what else?
Before you get to the church, I don't know exactly. Of note, the old fish market up on the board, no one. Now, what got what? Used to, and now you know everything there is to know about.
Okay, maybe it's not a dialogue choice. Let me look on the map here, because... Wash basin. No, that feels a lot like right where I'm standing. Those on white are available to try now. Okay, this one I might take some backseating on, because... she's the old washerwoman. She's sitting in front of the wash basin. Is this not it? Elf Planitor saying in the room. Okay, thank you.
I'm afraid we don't have time for rest stops right now, officer.
Oh, is it? It's shaving. Okay. For some reason, thank you, Elf Planitor. For some reason in my head, what I was thinking is that when she was washing some clothes, there was like a piece of clothing that you can pick out if you just like dart in and out fast enough, which I was thinking to myself felt a little bit rude, but no, that's what it is. It's the shaving kit in the room. So yeah, we'll do that tonight, which means I'm going to put back on my regular outfit for now. Okay. So, was there anything else that I wanted to see? I don't care about Measurehead, although I could re-roll that, and I do have a little bit more physical instrument. And the rest of this stuff is... It would be difficult for me to overstate how disinterested I am in joining the Communist Club. I just... no interest at all. I mean, we'll probably go back there, but I feel like I'm supposed to, like, go read a book or something, and like, I don't want... So, then the next thing is... So as far as I know, I cannot get to the island, so I'm not worried about that. Here's join the reading group, buy the spirits from Rosemary, find all the armor pieces, which is what we're doing. It's specifically the Hangman's boots. And I feel like there's one additional thing in there that we're working on as well. Confront the pigs and get your gun back. Someone's been running around with your sidearm pretending to be a police officer. You must meet her near the old fish market at 2200. So... Oh, I really should have paid more attention to that, because did she indicate that the fish market was to the south? The woman that I literally just talked to? Blobby Blah's saying that we might actually get a pleasant character picture after the shave. You're more optimistic than I do, but maybe a less grotesque one. All right, let me just... remind me where the old fishing village is? Or the fishing market?
I hope just us. This is pretty much in...
The place is so pornographically poor, it's not even funny.
Over there, you can find more of the same.
Okay, the pox.
An old military hospital.
Military hospital.
After the war, it was now the area
what happened?
the Goodwill ran out. Here...
Under carts,
okay.
boats.
Over there, you can find...
No? Okay.
An old
already
after
had
the
that
war,
chat.
now the area the Goodwill ran out.
She nods.
What's further down the
No.
coast?
Where's the abandoned church? The DeLorean Church of Humanity.
So the church, which we know to be the north.
Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around.
So,
No, with...
She's not telling you all she knows.
Before you get to the church, there's some ruins. An apartment complex, I don't know exactly. Of note, the old fish market up
The
on
old
the
fish market
boardwalk.
up on the
But
boardwalk.
It's closed. As I said, it's a...
Okay. So... Probably up here then. Okay. Yeah, so to answer Club's question, the thing about Disco Elysium that is so impressive, and whenever it is that we eventually hit credits, this is going to be the number one thing that you hear me talking about. I like the art style. The voice work is very good. I like the fact that it has a lot of North American voice actors, as far as I can tell. Like, they all speak fine English, but it doesn't sound like they're native speakers, and that gives the game a very sort of like what's the phrase I'm thinking of? I'm trying to think about like the phrase that I want to use for it. That it has a very the best thing that I can think of is that a global feel. The idea of Revachol, which is the area that we are, is that it has seen a great amount of immigration and a lot of commerce from all over the world of Disco Elysium. And one of the ways that they have helped to sell that is by having a cast of characters that sound like they are from a wide variety of different places. And my belief is that they're all like native speakers of like they're all the actual accents of the actors. So I'm gonna wait a little bit of a distance away. We're gonna put down a real save here. Been good rotating save. And I'm gonna read a book until about 2200, which feels like a long ways away, but I don't think I've got anything else to pursue right now. Yeah, I don't want to go back to the Whirling in Rags because Inland Empire just said, be ready. You're gonna be... Club is saying, ew, reading books. Well, it's a great way to pass the time. So we're going to go in here, and I'm going to find a book to interact with. We have one that I haven't read. The leading intellectual organ of Martinet's communism. Oh, maybe we're going to join the reading club after all. Offers a radical Mazovian perspective on a range of contemporary issues. The cover features a stylized portrait of the late King Frissel with a pair of white antlers growing out of his head. All right, let's interact. And remember, our goal is 2200, so we're going to interact with this for as long as it takes.
This quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Frissel. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover.
Why Frissel?
Because Frissel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see.
Now, a quick question for people that might know. The phrase communards, is that unique to Disco Elysium? Because at least here in the United States, the phrase would always be communists. Like, communards and communists sound like they are perfect synonyms for each other, except in Disco Elysium, it's always this. So, in other parts of the real world, would it be communards? Elf Planets were saying it was French for communists, I think. Okay, that's helpful, because I've been wondering about that as we've gone, and this game, especially Revachol as a location, has a very sort of like a French history to it. Sarzand is saying it's a reference to the French commune of the 1870s communist revolution, or communiste revolution. Yeah, see, that's very helpful, because I did not recognize the phrase. Okay, let's flip through the pages and see what catches your eye.
To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white. No advertisements, you notice. So who's funding this radical commentary? After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections: international developments, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note.
We are into this full bore. Here we go. Also, Club is saying 1789. And blah 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 saying, dang it, no pictures, just words. I remember being of an age where I would look at the books that my parents would read and be like, why would anybody look at this? There's no pictures. It's just wall after wall after wall of text. I remember having that thought. And then the very first time that I sort of like, I wonder what all of this is about. I think I picked up like a Robert A. Heinlein book. Is that... I always forget how it's pronounced. And like, I think it was like Have Spacesuit Will Travel or something like that. And suddenly realizing like, oh, like it doesn't have the pictures because it's describing to you what happens. I remember having that thought is all. Okay, read the editor's note.
Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, Du cristal à la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turned to smoke under communism. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée. Unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel, La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers.
Oh, only 4 issues, and it sounds like they've already alienated their readership.
Perhaps they've overestimated the market demand for this kind of commentary.
I'm endlessly curious about the very rare lines that don't get voiceover. Were they just missed? Were they so uncommon? Like, this is just a medium success, so you would think that would be as common as any of the other medium checks.
So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
Kim absolutely does not care that it's a communist magazine. Also, we both knew this, so play it cool. Pretend everything is in order.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Okay, let's learn all about international developments. And if this is boring, I might just start going through, because the game has a lot of like background world building.
This section includes a long, tedious critique.
It's very boring.
You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border.
Mm-hmm.
Face it, you really aren't interested in foreign affairs. You're not even sure where most of these countries are.
Yes, factually true.
You flip back to the front of the magazine.
As Tarzan says,
unfolds before you.
3 hours to go. Fortunately, like for anybody who hasn't been through this, usually reading books is a great way to get this to jump forward in like 20-minute increments. What is Kunst und Kultur?
It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst und Kultur must mean arts and culture.
Why they decided to title this one section in Volder is beyond you.
Obviously, because it's cool to drop random phrases in foreign languages. It evokes a sense of recognition and fellowship among those privileged enough to understand. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist spotlight featuring a local artist identified only as CS. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée, a critical Mazovian perspective. The Tip Top Tournée is an inter-Isolari racing series, mostly known for its high speeds, ludicrous sponsorship deals, and high death toll. In Revachol, it's held quadrennially on the prestigious Zero Carousel racing circuit.
So, quick vocabulary check. Quadrennially, is that once every 4 years? Because it's certainly not 4 times a year. So I want to say that that's once every 4 years. Oh, and, like, I just want to say this once in passing. The idea that today, like right now, for anybody watching this in the future, we have skilled Olympic athletes that are at the absolute top of their what's the phrase that I'm thinking of their athletic prowess, that are getting banned from the games because they like can somebody really quickly explain to me what the hell is happening with, like, the Olympics have banned swim caps that are used by, forgive me if I don't phrase this artfully, but black athletes to, like, keep their hair down? Why are they doing that? Why are they banning the caps? Do the caps have little propellers on them? Which, spoiler alert, they don't? Who the fuck cares? Why is that being banned? It is... Sorry, I didn't mean to get off the topic of, like, communism or whatever, although I very much want to get off that topic. But, like, can you imagine? This goes to the same thing that we were talking about with, like, nurses being forced to work, like, 20-hour shifts and stuff like that. It doesn't make sense. Why are they banning swim caps that are specifically to help some of the athletes keep everything down and in place? Why are those athletes being targeted by this? It doesn't make any sense. It is deeply offensive to me, the idea that somebody could train, not just for 4 years since the last Olympics, but for their entire lives to make it to that level of competition, athletic competition, and then be told, oh, sorry, your swim cap is not approved, so you're either going to have to fix that or shave your head or whatever else. That is, if somebody can explain this to me, if there's something that I'm misunderstanding, I am open to learn, but based on every single word that I've seen about this, it seems incredibly, needlessly punitive. And sorry, I'm going to move on now. Tip Top Tournay. Once every 4 years is what something brought that up. Okay, read the profile.
This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A, made all the briefer by the subject's evident hostility to her interviewer. That certainly sounds like a certain delinquent youth who likes to harass you from her balcony.
Yeah, well, I don't think that Cindy the Skull was the interviewer there. Okay, what do the communists have to say about Tip Top?
You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season, maybe sprinkled with some nice anecdotes about a few of the more colorful drivers.
Also, Club was saying that always when the continue button sounds, it makes me think of the Wii shop sound. Yeah.
Instead, you find
we'll point it out the next time it happens.
A 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip Top Tournay.
All right.
Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships. And then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes. So, all of it, basically.
All right, and we haven't advanced it like more than 20 minutes here. So, who wrote this stuff?
Oddly enough, this article has 2 bylines. Nasteb Encolada Bernal and Exilus Buka. Just a moment. Those names seem awfully familiar.
You're right. It's because they're most likely anagrams of Steban and Ulysses. Oh, the student communists. Okay, cool. So now we have a topic of conversation. We know that the people at the Communist Reading Club are the writers of this particular magazine under pseudonyms. What's so bad about sponsorships?
Under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has its price. Every pleasure, even one as elemental as the joy of racing others around a track, is reduced to an advertising opportunity.
Another quick pause here. So Blah has put some helpful information. This is what I found on a quick Google. Quote, according to the 2020 FINA, F-I-N-A, Olympic Rulebook, manufacturers of new styles of swimwear and caps that include a new design, construction, or material must submit the swimwear to FINA to obtain its approval before it's used at a competition. The rulebook also states that swimmers are permitted to wear 2 swim caps. So I don't know too much about the 2 swim caps. This is where I'm sort of like exposing, like, I don't know about the 2 swim caps. What I do know is that, was that rule in effect when Michael Phelps, I think it was wearing this like laser line swimsuit that allowed him to like glide through the water like a dolphin, and he like shattered every record. And I'm not saying that to in any way diminish the amount of physical expertise that Michael Phelps put into like shattering all those records. Like that was a huge degree on display of physical prowess. However, if those records get to stand, and now these athletes are saying we basically just want to wear these swim caps. Look, man, if somebody can point out to me how the swim cap, which is a very, very small amount of material on the top of the head, is somehow going to shave like 2, 3, 4 seconds off of somebody's swim time, and that is somehow unfair, I guess I will open up to the fact that this rule enforcement sounds reasonable. Short of that, it seems punitive. Tashir says, gotta make a run. I should be back before you end. Okay, Tashir, good luck on whatever you need, and we'll see you when you get back. I need to meter the intensity of what I'm saying with the fact that I am deeply ignorant, and no one should ever listen to what I'm saying, especially on this. But boy, it doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem fair to say to somebody, you've got to like hack back your hair, like shave your head in order to participate in this, when it doesn't feel like that would have been made clear, especially if this is a new rule change. And I don't perceive what the benefit is to the integrity of the games. But and also let me say, and I really, really mean this, thank you to blah 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 for looking it up. That is helpful information. That it sounds like they are enforcing the letter of the law. I would like a human being to now look at the law as written and say, this doesn't make sense in the way that it's being applied here, even if it specifically says caps.
Thus, the so-called tourney becomes a competition between increasingly meaningless brand signifiers. Your discount laundry detergent racing against a pack of Astra cigarettes, or even a Fritta.
Right, but then you get to see them crash.
And that precisely is what's problematic about it. Were it not for the promise of random, spectacular violence, audiences would quickly lose interest.
Elf Planetor, and I think this is spot on the nose. I suppose they haven't had time to evaluate if it constitutes an advantage, but still seems obtuse from the Olympics. I guess I have... Okay.
At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're really watching for.
Yeah, it's hard for me as a layman to imagine what material or design on the racing cap that's designed to compress and keep in place basically black people's hair that tends to be very thick and voluminous. Like, it's just sort of like scrunching all of that down. How could that possibly be more of an advantage than the people who do choose to just shave their heads and probably wax it up or whatever else? It just doesn't make logical physical sense to me. And maybe I'm wrong, and the caps are made out of some high-tech Teflon that rejects the water like a character from the Nevers. I just don't envision that that's what it is. Sorry, I will stop railing about this. I don't give a shit about the racing at all, and I'm certainly not into it for the violence, so...
Sure, you think that, but subconsciously, it's the visions of brand names being engulfed in flames that you crave. It's the stilted language and overconfident tone. That's the real giveaway here. You're almost certainly reading a recycled university essay, one that could probably use some edits.
Again, we are here to burn time, so I'm going to take out my pen and make some changes.
Armed with Lena's friendly green ape pen, you spend entirely too much time writing constructive feedback in the margins of the page. By the time you're finished, the original article is nearly illegible.
We're going to have so much to talk about at the reading group now.
You know, most people would just write a letter to the editor. Or even better, just leave it be.
Kim, someone is wrong on the internet. You wouldn't believe how badly written some of these articles are.
I can imagine. Something tells me there's not exactly a glut of young communists itching to write about tip-top for La Fumée. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor, much less a motor race. I take whatever they write with a large grain of salt.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Let's see what they mean by local concerns.
Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dockworkers' strike. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. First, we take Martinez. Then we take La Delta. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside Apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent.
So I'm definitely not going to say they should have killed a lot of them. If it weren't for the wild pines, all those moochers would be out of a job. Charging rent just to live somewhere is pretty outrageous. I'm going to lean towards that. Wouldn't it be better for everyone if labor and capital could reach some reasonable accommodation? And then why should I care? This doesn't have anything to do with me. Well, our whole thing now, we're basically all in on communist cops, so charging rent to live somewhere is pretty outrageous.
The writer G. Martin remarks dryly that capitalists love wealth redistribution, so long as it's only redistributed upward. Good thing your rent-paying days are behind you. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Okay, so we basically chewed up a full hour. And we're waiting until 2200. So now my question is, I know that I just ran all the way out here. Do we want to go back and buy a different book? Here's the thing. At no point has any book that I've read that I know of unlocked an experience point, but I guess some of them might have, you know what they might be doing? I've never gotten an experience point from a book. I've never gotten a skill point or a new thought that I can remember coming out of a book. But what I might have gotten and might not have paid enough attention to is they might unlock special bonuses in certain situations. So even though I just ran all the way out here, I'm going to go back to the bookstore. I've got $33. I think I can get to the bookstore without triggering whatever it is that Inland Empire was warning me about. I think... Oh, no. It's further north than this, isn't it? Okay, you know what? So, I'm going to try to... I'm just letting people know I might reload this. I'm going to go up... I want to see if I can make it to the bookstore. And if I get a...
I'm all out.
Shit, nope.
Shit.
Stop. Nope, I don't want to see it. Load. Where's my quick save? It was right here. I take it back. So, Club is heading out. Club, above and beyond anything else, I hope that you have a fantastic vacation. Yeah, whatever that was, we're turning around. Inland Empire warned us. It was correct. We're going back. I will read the same books over again. But Club is saying have a wonderful stream. Club, I really mean it. I hope that you have a great vacation. I hope that you enjoy Italy. Enjoy the beach. Enjoy the pina coladas. We will certainly be here when you get back, and you deserve it. You deserve every minute of the time off. So be well, and I hope that you have a great time. For anybody that doesn't know, we described a little bit, I think during the last episode, but Club is one of the oldest and most enduring supporters of the stream. We met him during an XCOM 2 playthrough. Someday I'd really like to do another XCOM 2 playthrough and have all the soldiers named after people in chat and stuff. It could be like a channel point reward. We sort of thought about doing that. That would be pretty cool. So I'm just going to... Basically, we're just going to fiddle with books here for a little bit. See what we can reread.
Innocence.
Oops. And
The
I've
edges
already
of
read
the
these, so
pages
we're gonna
are
go
worn.
super
The
quick.
jacket copy. He is ambushed by it.
Time
You
to flip.
open
Got
his
it.
arm.
Uh-huh.
Good God,
Yep.
this is some. You flip to the copyright.
Gritty and
Berserker
heroic.
Rage burn.
Give me more.
Man from Hyundai.
Onward.
The steel muscles.
Yep.
A passage
And just
reads,
look down here at the
man
bottom.
from
We just
Hyundai
chewed
looks
up an hour
His
right
eyes
there.
blue as thine spells are no match. I have grand plans for you, man from Hyundai.
Alright,
She gestures
super
diabolical
epic.
in the final page to find out what happens next.
You know something?
have to
That
pick
chewed up pretty much
Man from
exactly an
Hyundai
hour. It's
and the
perfect. Let's just do it
three-eyed
again.
skull. You open his arms. Good God, this is. You flip to the copyright page. Berserker Rage, man from Hyundai. The steel muscles of a passage reads. The
Okay,
man from
perfect.
Hyundai, thine spells are no match. I have grand plans for
I've had
you.
enough.
The edges of the page.
Okay. So that word salad that you just heard skipped us to exactly the time that we want. So I am again going to F5 it because I basically... Okay, and wait, before we go. What... So we know that there's a woman. She has a gun. It's apparently my gun. We want to be able to talk her out of whatever she's doing and give me the gun back. So I'm going to put on my empathy shoes. We have composure jeans, drama shirt. I'm kind of thinking that I don't necessarily want esprit de corps, but visual calculus would be nice. I'd love to not have that -1 perception. Do I have any other headwear that's better for this? No, I definitely don't want to give up a point of perception. Logic and authority. I'm not sure that I want to give up that point of drama. Yeah, let's go with +1 empathy and -1 logic, which still leaves us with a +1 logic. And then I suppose, like, let me temporarily switch into white tank top because physical instrument might be necessary if I need to overpower. Savoir-faire and physical instrument. That might be more important to me than composure right now. Or reaction speed. Do I want reaction speed? I'm gonna think maybe reaction speed. White polo shirt isn't the worst. I don't really like the idea of losing a point of empathy, but it gives me +1 rhetoric. Rhetoric is at 7. Empathy is at 7. I feel like if she's emotionally distraught, empathy is going to be more important, so I don't want to lose the empathy point. +1 reaction speed, -1 rhetoric. Ooh, I don't think I feel good about that. No. Oh, here's +1 suggestion and -1 half-light. Yeah, let's do that. My character is such a, like... He's just such a fashion icon, isn't he? Oh, wait. No, this is better, because this is without the negative. Is this really the best pair of pants that I have for this? I feel like it is. Alright, and that's it. This is apparently the outfit I'm gonna go try to talk her out of, so... Here we go. That's the best thing that I can imagine for this. The only other thing is that I could try taking some speed. Do I want to take some speed? I think I do. Oh, God, I don't know what I'm up against, though. I don't even know if I'm in the right place. I have so much speed, you guys. I have so much speed. It would be irresponsible of me not to take speed. Alright, and when I do this, I'm going to have to take another point of health, but I really, really, really want my gun. Bobby was saying you can't really know what to prepare for. Maybe... Maybe do a prank call to pass the time. Alright. Oh, and it's a morale... negative, not a health negative. Do it. All right. I need to find this woman. And I don't actually know that she's up here, but this is the boardwalk, right? And also, I like you just saw, I reserve the right to reload if I can't even find where this woman is hanging out.
There's some tear.
No, we already looked in there. It won't let me collect all the tear. Like, if this isn't the boardwalk, I have all sorts of questions about what it is. Alright, so the people are gone. I can't go back there. Yeah, at this year's Olympics, there's also some weirdness with, like, people being, like, kicked off the team because they, see, El Plantor is saying this is the right place. Okay, that is welcome information in this case because, I don't know if I need to walk a little bit of a ways away so that she can sort of show up, but it's going to save me a lot of aggravation in terms of, like, where even am I supposed to be standing? I'm just going to go a little bit of ways away, and then we'll circle back up there in a second. Fortunately, the clock does not turn when... when we're just running around. There's the crank call phone. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, I see something. Yep, there she is. I have so many questions. Okay. Well, let's do it.
Put your hands where I can see them.
The aging woman under a mountain of police paraphernalia mumbles to herself, then notices for you and reaches for the megaphone.
Show me your hands. This is the pigs. Show me your hands. Right now! Show me your hands! Right now!
Scavenged, battery-powered police lights protrude from her back. The flickering light show reveals a gun in her shaking hand. Her hand is trembling from some sort of neurodegenerative disease.
Madame, please drop the firearm immediately.
I'm going to raise my hands.
The man appears to be pulling out an object from his pocket. Fear under threat! Fear under threat! Superseding event. Split-second decision. Get on the ground! Get on the goddamn ground!
Ma'am, we just want to talk to you.
Subject yourself to a full body cavity search. Prohibited materials concealed in nostrils, ears, mouth, navel, urethra, foreskin, vagina, and rectum.
In her mind, the cavity search is happening, as long as she's saying it. It appears the things she says are very real to her.
Be careful, detective. Don't do anything that might set her off.
Like draw a gun and aim it at her, for example.
You'll have to go for the gun sooner or later. Perhaps you can learn crucial facts before you do.
Yeah, okay, 42% is real bad. I am suddenly very... Well, not suddenly. I'm very glad that I took the speed. Let's try to solve it peacefully. This world seems openly hostile to attempts to talk to people calmly, but I'm going to try it nonetheless.
Officer in need of assistance! Suspect at large! Get on the ground!
Ma'am, please. We want to help you, but you need to lower that weapon.
Can we just talk about it?
Disturbance reported. Authorized deadly force. Sector, take the shot! Big red key! Big red key!
Big red key? That's code for the battering ram. Cop talk. You know this.
I should have come in here with all my esprit de corps stuff.
What happened to make her like this? Yes, sure. but also in a less abstract way. The neurodegenerative disease I mentioned earlier.
We are here to help. I could also try to ask her what's wrong, or just please identify yourself. Like, start with what's your name?
It's the goddamn police, shitbag! Hug the pavement! You're under arrest!
As she waves her hands, you notice familiar-looking ampoules and packets sticking out of the mountain of police gear on her back. Medicine or drugs? She thinks she's a police officer. Try treating her like a police officer. A lower-ranking police officer.
All right, let's hit it. Officer Pigs, double Yefretor Harrier Dubois, requesting your sidearm for inspection. Boy, that's bold. You know, I would have said issue your report or something, but hold out your badge. I do have it.
What?
Patrol officer, you're in gross violation of the RCM Code of Conduct.
Sir?
She hesitates, looking around in confusion. The 3-barreled pepper box wavers in her hand. I have to sign you up for a disciplinary hearing? Yeah, let's do it.
Easy. Press her too hard and she'll...
Too late, Lieutenant.
Shit.
With a swift, poorly coordinated move, the woman slams the megaphone against her lips and teeth. A trickle of blood runs down her chin. She doesn't notice it.
Officer compromise! Unlawful impersonation! Pigs en route! Engage your will!
I was worried about that being too much.
Okay. She's actually more agitated now. My bad.
Well, we did get an extra +1, so that's okay. So based on what we learned there, you're not the police, we're the police, seems like it would actually make things worse. So can you tell us what's wrong?
The woman looks at you, but through you, like you don't exist. Her eyes gleam feverishly, and the rotating police beacon lights reveal deep scratch marks on her cheeks. Recent, self-inflicted.
This is the police! Unlawful engagement! Hands on the ground! Scumbag!
So this is what the weather's like on the other end of a cop's gun.
I don't feel... Our previous attempts to comply have made things worse, so I'm concerned about slowly start bending over, hands on the ground. That's going to make it less likely that I can do hand-eye coordination, try to grab the gun away. If I say Kim, I am concerned that he's going to take the shot, which is not what I want. We just want to help?
Fascinating.
The lieutenant's eyes stay fixed on the woman and her gun. He studies them closely.
See? This is what happens when we are not around.
Oh, just we'll deal with this later. I'll just walk away from it. Oh boy, I really don't like asking if she's on drugs. If she thinks or is acting as though she's a police officer, if she's sort of like... I'm gonna try it.
Confiscated contraband! Restricted access! 2 kilos missing! Eyewitness report compromised!
I don't think she's on drugs. Being off drugs might actually be the problem here.
I don't like it. I don't like the 58%. Like, you think it's more likely than not, except when I'm rolling the dice. God damn it. If I did step away from this, I do have a different shirt that would work, that would give me a little bit of a bonus. I'm going to try to walk away from it. I don't know how we just say, like, all right, I'll see you later. But the game claims that I can, so...
We can't leave. A delirious civilian is pointing a firearm at us. Your firearm. You need to solve this.
Yeah, I was gonna say. There's two possibilities for You're Not the Police, We're the Police. Number one, we start to puncture through her delirium and start to get through to her, and it distracts her, and she lowers the gun for a fraction of a second, and we get an extra +1. Number two, she goes into a paranoid delusion and just starts firing wildly. And I don't know. I don't know what is, which is more likely. Fuck it.
She's frantic, confused, teetering under all that gear. There's an opening if you just move fast enough. If not, the lieutenant's got her in his sights.
Well, I just failed it, so I know myself. I know I'm going to fail. Gun, I'm coming, go for it. No gun is worth this risk. Slowly back away. Ooh. I'm going to go with I know I'm going to fail. That might cause me, morale loss. Should I still go for it? Why would I go for it if I just failed the check? If I go for it, she's going to shoot me in the head. I'm going to die. I know I'm going to fail.
Sure, you're you. But how do we end this? She's not just going to leave.
The game's like, yeah, of course you're going to fail. Like, that's what you're all about. But for real, what are you going to do? Okay, if I slowly back away, Kim might take the shot, and then I get the gun. If I go for it, I think I die, but, I mean, my character is hopped up on speed, so I'm going to call it a character-building moment. Go for it!
Suicide back home. Split-second decision. Eat lead, scumbag.
Oh my god.
For a moment there.
I was 80% sure the gun is empty, and still the instinct almost took over.
What is this? This isn't police issue. Police weapons have bullets. This isn't real. Police guns always have bullets. What is this? Why did you sell me this?
She looks devastated. Grab the gun, right now. This might be your only chance.
Pick it up!
No one ever cares anymore. Why would they treat me like this?
Great gears are grinding to a halt. The machine is powering down. She's all out of jolt.
Poor woman. We need to figure out what to do with her now.
Nobody's ever around. Nobody ever comes to visit me.
I'll tell you this, I will 100% take a penalty to, like, my morale, like, an hour before I go to sleep and get it all back, over having Kim take that shot. I was worried about two things. Number one, getting killed, and then having to reload it and getting another roll at that dice, which I want to take my failures as they come. Number two, Kim killing her, because we already started the episode with a death. I'd like to avoid any more. I'm going to talk to Kim for a second. What do you think is happening with her?
She's in a stupor. I've seen this before. God knows for how long. Could be days when they get like this.
The lieutenant is inspecting the catatonic woman standing in the dark. Do we know why she was like this in the first place?
Honestly, I don't know. Dementia, probably. Dementia and Channel 8. And loneliness.
What is Channel 8? Is that like a street name for a drug? Or is that like... I mean, I do think it's a neurodegenerative disease. That's what my character was thinking in his head.
Could be. Her hands were trembling, and she did seem uncoordinated. But what are we going to do with her?
I'm going to try to express some empathy.
Her scratched skin is warm to the touch, but the person inside doesn't even know you're there.
Okay, should we just arrest her?
I don't think there's any need for that. In her current state, and without a gun, she isn't really a threat to anyone.
Okay, how about, like, getting her some medical attention?
We could let Titus know. This is a perfect problem for the local peacekeepers to handle.
Sure,
They might
we'll
even
just...
know her family.
We'll just walk right up the street and have a chat with him. We shouldn't encounter any sudden plot points if we do that. I was really hoping I can give her one of these station call slips. No, I don't like that. Titus sounds like the man for the job. But the thing is, like, the RCM doesn't have any presence here. Titus does sound like the man for the job to me. Yeah.
Then we can ask him once we get back to the whirling. But we have to hurry, because it's late, and they might have already gone home.
They've already gone home. I'm not going to make it there, Kim.
But I think we're done here for now. Let's head out. This is done.
Please, leave the radio on.
She mutters, it seems like a reflex, a half-remembered sentence.
Reflex to what? Being left alone? Exactly. With only the voice of Gareth Morand to accompany her on Channel 8. She stands motionless, just a heap of clothes and flashes now. Maybe if you search her once more.
Search her once more? That's okay. So, just to color in for anybody that, because I feel like we all understand that she pulled the trigger. She tried to kill my character. It's just that the gun wasn't loaded. So, hooray!
The woman stands slumped. She looks catatonic under her mountain of RCM paraphernalia. Is one of those things a police cap? There were narcotics in there too. You're thinking of taking them? Do.
Okay, I'm just gonna see if she's okay, which she plainly is not.
The old woman doesn't react to your touch.
Okay, let me take the cap.
She doesn't even flinch as you reach out and disentangle the familiar-looking lieutenant's cap from her mountain of RCM paraphernalia.
Oh, is that yours?
It's hard to say. It's been so long since you wore yours.
Probably. I think so.
The lieutenant nods.
And, hey, how about the narcotics there?
You take the vial of Pyrrolidon and the bottle of speed as evidence, obviously.
Of course.
She didn't consume them. She didn't look high. She confiscated them, a little like you are doing now.
You might not want to take those. You seem to have a slight problem.
I can quit anytime I want.
Listen to him, for once.
I need to do this case. I need everything I can get. Well, that's, I'm not giving them to Kim. I'm just not. But it's the one vice that I've really leaned into for the character. I'm confiscating these as evidence. Fine, you take them. I need this to do the case. Or say nothing. Sure. Like we both know this is a lie, but if you can't lie to yourself, who can you lie to?
Sure. I guess that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Oops. Okay. So, police cap. +1 authority. Which is good some of the time, I guess. Don't really need a lot of authority. Okay, so now we have the gun. Do I have any bullets for it? Not that I know of. If we go to tools... Oh, so that's what Pyrrolidon does. +1 psyche and -1 health. That's not nearly as good as speed. Blah 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 was also noting, so Elf Planitor was saying this is the right place, maybe let a minute pass and walk away from it, which seemed to be what we did. I was just standing a little bit too close when she, when we were there. Blah 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 is also saying the fake policewoman is a Karen. Well, she didn't ask us to talk to the manager. Equip this at times when times are the most dire. 3-shot revolving barrel, Villiers, LaSalle, pepper box. Typically assigned to officers of the RCM upon reaching the rank of sergeant. The butt of the gun is warm, and the engraving on the other side reads Sunrise Parabellum. This is your gun, no doubt about it. So, since Inland Empire directly said you really want to have this equipped, we're going to do that. Also, if we're going to have it equipped, I'm going to put on my hand-to-eye coordination thing, and I'm going to keep on my reaction speed pants. I don't think I need physical instrument white tank top. Is there anything else that would help me out here? Maybe rhetoric, because we could talk ourselves out of things. And I do have a +3 empathy, so I could afford to give away a point of empathy to get +1 rhetoric. The only other thing that I might want to have is any sort of boost to... Yeah... Whatever's going to happen here, I don't... Well, it's not that logic isn't going to help. And if I take this off, I'm going to be at actually negative logic. I feel like the clothing options in this game are specifically made to be as... Huh. I have +2 empathy and +1 logic. Is there anything else I'd rather have in there? That really feels like a net loss. Yeah. I'm gonna leave it like that, because I've got a pretty good logic score, don't I? Yeah, 7 logic. I'm doing okay. And I think I'm gonna spend at least one of these points, but I haven't decided which one yet.
Holding the gun feels natural and satisfying. It's like an extension of your arm, the polished wooden handle almost fusing into your palm.
I think my hand recognizes it.
It reminds you of the day you first held it, with fear and respect, hoping you don't have to use it in vain. The sun was out in Jamrock. It was so long ago. Sheathe your sidearm, officer. A serious law official, cop by the book, should know to only unholster their service weapon when using it is unavoidable.
Well, Inland Empire told me that this was going to be unavoidable. Here's my concern. If I need to use this... So, when we used to go down into the basement to try to pry open the frozen freezer, it would say, like, there was a -10 penalty if you didn't have the tool in your hand. I'm concerned that whatever is about to happen, if I don't have the tool in my hand, I will incur a -10 penalty to whatever it is that I need to respond to. It is also not escaping me that I don't have a... I don't know that I have any bullets for the gun.
The trap is full of locusts, but they seem weak and unhealthy. A few lie on their backs with their legs twitching. Still, no phasmid. Poor things.
Oh, okay. I thought that there might have been something else there. Alright, so we're gonna go up here. I already reloaded once to get myself out of going too far up the street. I'm gonna throw down a save here. So here's my goals as we go up the street. Number 1, solve it non-peacefully. Number 2, survive if things don't go peacefully. However, I do need to pause here for 1 second. I'm going to take a very, very rare, step away from the microphone, and I will be right back probably in less than 2 minutes. So everybody just hold on. All right, that was it. That was the whole break. So, the only other thing that I might want to do is I've got 3 points here, and I've got 2 thoughts cooking. Oh, look, 98% done, and we don't know what we're going to get. Oh, also, I should take a quick look here. Am I going to be penalizing myself? -2 physical instrument? I'm just going to have to deal with that. I do not know what benefit this one's going to get me, but I could wait 4 minutes and find out. Unless it's a penalty, in which case I'm really fucked. No, I'm going to let it ride, because there's no penalty associated with this one, and since I don't know what it's going to do, what if it puts me into some sort of emotional crisis, which is going to be way worse? Yeah, and none of the other thoughts that I've completed in any way, like, conferred some sort of, like, a big benefit, except for the one that gives me +1 experience points. So I'm going to let that ride for 4 minutes, and we're just going to eat it. However, if I think that firing a gun is even a possibility, I'm thinking about putting a point into hand-to-eye coordination. The only other things that I'm thinking of is that, so I don't want to fire the gun, is the thing. I don't want to if I can avoid it. So who were the 2 people that or 2 entities that spoke up to me? It was like, one was suggestion and one was it conceptualization? Somebody said that you're like better, like you're really, really likable. Oh, you know what? I could slam in an extra point of authority. Because I am high on drugs right now. If I put this in right now, I will be able to be higher than in authority than I can normally get to. Okay. And then there's like Half-Light, which is like threatening people. I'm never, ever, ever going to be very good at that. I should really spend these points, though. Okay, so here's how it's going to go. I'm going to put a point into hand-eye coordination, and I'm going to put 1 point into... authority. Yeah. All right. My first double-digit score. So, lock it in. And that still leaves 1 point left if I wanted to go through and have another thought or white checklist something. So, yeah, here we go. Wait! Do I want drama for my necktie? Probably. Yeah, okay, let's do it. Okay. It just occurred to me, I didn't check the necktie very carefully.
I'm all out of shits to give, loincloth. Welcome to the fucking reckoning. Put your damn gun down. People are gonna get hurt. We need to talk this through. All right? Shut up. You're not gonna talk yourself out of this, loincloth shit fuck.
This is the mercenary at the gates. His chest rises and falls under the ceramic breastplate. His fingers reach for the butt of his sidearm.
Why would Kim have any more information about what's going on here than I would? Say nothing.
This is a misunderstanding. Nothing irreversible has happened yet. You can just return to your unit and forget all about this.
The Kipt is merciful, willing to spare us if we just forget about our murdered and humiliated commander. I think we should just kill everyone, Corty.
You are all drunk. Come to your senses. You won't gun down 7 people in the middle of the street. This isn't a frontier town or a jungle outpost.
Easy, Lizzie. Let me handle it. I know guys like this. I'm sure we can come to a peaceful agreement. Ain't that right, fellas?
He is facing overwhelmingly superior firepower, and he knows it.
Peaceful.
It sounds like the armored figure is weeping. Wait, who is this? Rude Honkaloan? Which person is that? This is Cordy. This is DePaul, who we're seeing for the very first time, as far as I know. It sounds like the armored figure is weeping. I do not know who that is.
Nest in your abdominal cavity like a little wild mouse. The masked man's words are barely intelligible, but you can hear them.
Fuck, there's the third one. How did we miss something like this?
The lieutenant points to the helmeted figure. What helmeted figure?
This third one, he is the most dangerous of them all, heavily armed.
Elf is saying to the top left. We'll look at that in a
The
second.
lieutenant is genuinely worried for his life. You should consult him before getting in there.
Okay, let me consult with him then. What do we... Well, let me whisper, because I like the fact that this is whisper. The big one is the mercenary at the gates, the scab leader.
If this turns into a firefight, we should take him out first.
He nods.
A sound strategy. He's the leader.
All right, Kim, what do we do?
My plan is not to get killed, but we have to intervene.
He doesn't want to, but he must.
Okay, we're not walking away. What does this mean, do we think? We're out of time. This is ... Or do I just charge up? We're out of time. Why am I thinking that?
The Mercenary Tribunal.
Oh, okay. This is finishing the thought. Well, this is it. Get between them. We either talk our way out or we shoot our way out.
Get lost, comedian. You cops had your chance. Now it's fucking time for some justice.
He licks his lip, waving his gun at the crowd. Losing his balance for a moment, he staggers backwards. Okay, and this must be the figure that Elf Planitor was saying. Like, I'm glad that I heard him say something, because I did not interpret that as being anything more than a statue that I'd overlooked. I didn't see it at all.
I think he's calmed down a bit.
Pig, fuck!
This is the only word you can make out. It doesn't sound calm. Say nothing, cross your arms seems like a big-time power move. But my character's all about talking. Yes, I do have a very high authority. You know something? We can say something in a minute. Say nothing, cross your arms.
You.
Courtenaire turns his bloodshot eyes to you.
You're probably gonna get killed too. I think I'm gonna kill you. I didn't think I had it in me to kill a cop.
To your left, you hear the lieutenant cock his gun.
No one is going to kill anyone. Let's just put the guns down and talk like civilized human beings.
She doesn't seem to understand the severity of the situation. With a wordless gurgle, the killer loads his long rifle. The leader gives a small nod to the helmeted man. Suddenly, the grip of your sidearm feels comforting and warm in your hand. Feels like it's saying, do it. Shoot him in the mouth. Shoot him before he shoots you. No, wait. It's good you have that gun. It really is. Just soften him up first. Present an argument. Even if it comes to a fight, it's always a good idea to drag it out first. Get under his skin.
Oh, suggestion. If you hadn't led me wrong on at least a couple different occasions, I would be so much more heartened by that advice.
Peace. Always peace. It has worked thus far. Start with the first idea you have, then move down from that. Please.
Empathy is pleading with me. Start with the first idea you have. All right, who is that? Point to the man. I didn't know you had a good eye. I really like how high our percentages are on these things. And I very much do not want to shoot him. So, who is that?
Rude. Rude is the killer. Rude, the killer. How uncloven. He doesn't talk much.
all of you cunts inside out.
So I don't know if I understood that because my perception is high enough and I could hear him before, or if there's like a version where I can't. Why am I going to ask him about like what he said? Who cares? He's insulting us. Good work. Your words are way less dangerous to me right now than your bullets, so I'm not going to follow up on that. Although Suggestion did say it was better to keep them talking. Let's start with the killer.
The gunner, the raddest, the killer.
Okay, sorry. Courtner is saying that he's referring to himself as the gunner. The raddest is the woman, who I think means probably the radioist, like the communications officer. And then the killer is the figure clad entirely in ceramic plate.
What do you think he does?
You think this is real tough? You think you're real tough, huh? This killing is meaningless. Is that going to get under his skin? I am also technically a killer, too. I've killed all of 3 people. Here's the thing. I think that dick measuring right now against these trained mercenaries that have, you know, had all their battle scars and stuff, I don't think that that's going to impress them, and I don't think it's going to intimidate them. He kills and tends to the stables. No. Then again, if I insult their honor, isn't that worse? This is stupid. This is insulting. I feel like this is at best just going to put them more on edge. You think you're real tough, this killing is meaningless.
Huh?
He stares at you with his watery eyes.
That struck some chord. A dark chord.
What are we waiting for? Let's blow that pig fucking mouth off his face.
Lance Corporal, just fucking shut up and wait for your order.
He is not used to commanding or leading. He feels uncomfortable. He'd rather shoot to kill.
Empathy really wanted me to start with the very first thought that I had. Okay, let's try it. They didn't do it. And we can prove it, I think.
Yeah? Who did then?
Oh, shit. I need a little bit more time to figure it out. It's not Titus. I don't think it was Klaasje, because, again, Ruby, and it wasn't Ruby, and it wasn't me. It was someone else, someone who's not here now. Shit, that is so vague.
How fucking convenient.
He gives you a drunken stare, then puts his hand on the gun.
His fingers are twitching. That's a draw reflex. He's about to draw.
So I immediately, like he was shot from a great distance. A sniper did it. A lot of the people could have gotten to that roof. No, that doesn't work. Actually, they are here. Point to the enemy. It was one of you. I've changed my mind. I can still change my mind. No, he was shot from a great distance.
You think I'm fucking stupid, cop? What if I just shot one of your pals here, right now? Huh? How about the kid? Tell me, it's a magic fucking sniper one more time.
Listen, please. This cop and this drumhead cop marshal won't decide who...
Okay, let me 70 to 92%.
The Hardy Boys confessed to hanging him, all together. Titus said we took him out back and hanged him. He said it loud, in a public place.
So wait, which of these two things? The Hardy Boys didn't confess, which they were willing to... What? Hold on a second. I can show them the bullet. I'm trying to work out like what these two things mean. So I've successfully worked out. The Hardy Boys confessed to killing him all together. We took him out back and hanged him. He said it out loud in a public place. So if I say they didn't confess to what? To shooting him? What? So here's the frustration that I'm having. I don't know what this means. I'm going to say that he was shot, he wasn't hanged. Listen to me. Because I can show him the bullet. Hello to Brian. I can show them the bullet. They're not going to know that that's the bullet that killed him, though. They didn't confess. God damn it. This is a point where I feel like I have insufficient information to make one of these two choices. They didn't confess. I'm going to say it.
You're lying. DePaul heard it.
He doesn't move the weapon.
A Kiel Model 40 revolver, 8 rounds in the barrel. The gun slowly sways in his hand from the inebriation.
You heard wrong. Your friend wasn't hanged. He was shot. We found a bullet in his head.
The hanging was only a cover-up.
Fucking liars.
What happened? He pulls the trigger, a plume of smoke erupts from the... Nobody fell over.
The shot rings in your ears, a low, tinny ring. Then the Hardy Boys yell something. The young woman stands and looks behind her. The shot has flown over her head, crashing a small pane of the glass window behind her.
I missed.
The man looks at his revolver and smiles.
Not true. He purposefully over-aimed and shot the window. You had him second-guessing himself, only for a second. Do not assume he will miss the next time.
I know what I heard, Corty. They said they killed him. They said it was a good way to end a Sunday night.
That doesn't sound good. You need to change the topic now, or there will be another shot.
Okay, I'm very concerned about anything else that doesn't play to my strengths, so think of an argument.
All right, here we go. This is an illegal tribunal. Krenner would never sanction this. Who's the commanding officer? Take your pick. Really, none of this looks like it's going to do anything but piss him off. You only have time for one argument. Choose wisely.
I'm very concerned about this. Okay, think carefully. Just a question, who's in charge of your unit after the death of your colonel? Krenel does not give you the right to conduct a tribunal. You were Downwell once. What happened? I don't remember what that means. Gulp and say nothing. So that's not going to work out for me. So this is an illegal tribunal. Krenel would never sanction this. And suggestion says that's just going to piss him off. I only have time for one argument. So if I ask who's in charge... I don't know what Downwell... Oh no, you were called Downwell once. That's a fucking weird thing to bring up. So these are the two different topics that I can bring up. Well, I'm gonna go with who's in charge of the unit here. I don't know. I don't know.
I am a Grinnell Major with over 15 years of live combat experience. When my colonel gets hanged by clay monkeys, I lead the platoon on a retaliation strike.
So you're the highest ranking of the three of you?
Nah, I just have the biggest gun.
He raps on his armored, barrel-like chest.
Technically, the other man has the biggest gun, but we're beyond that now.
Well, let's appeal to his authority. As the leader of the group, reconsider your actions. This does not need to end in bloodshed.
You're right. But you see, I want it to end in bloodshed.
Okay, it's not much, but he's thinking about something else, and his hand is off the gun. This did something.
Okay, let's talk about the hanged man.
Dangerous. Ask about him first. You don't want personal facts about his dead friend coming out of your mouth. He has to start it.
Who are you, a major? Wait, didn't he just tell us? Krenel Major, okay.
Sergeant Major Raoul Cortiner, reporting in to burn this fucking mud hut to the ground.
He points at the whirling in rags.
As he moves, the interlocking pieces of his armor click, softly. Click, click, click. The realization comes to you, like a picture puzzle coming together. His name is Raoul Courtenay. The dead man's name is Elise Courtenay. He's brothers with the deceased. No, probably foster brothers. Elise was put into a foster home, remember?
For killing, maiming, and humiliating our commanding officer. You're all sentenced to death by lead.
Okay, so I can reference his last name. His parents left him in a fucking leaf compactor, which is a big damn deal, I gotta say. Listen, you're Lely. Everyone says good things, but I want to reference him by his real name. He had blue eyes, didn't you? Your colonel did not deserve to go out like that, I promise. I will find his killer. Let's go with I know that name. He sways from left to right, inspecting you. Raoul and Elise Courtenay. Look him in the eye. I'm sorry about your brother.
He wasn't my fucking brother. We just grew up on the same farm and got beat into place by the same sick fuck.
So, referencing them as foster brothers, that seems like it's driving a wedge between them rather than respecting the bond that they had. So I'm going to go with, and then went to the same military academy and the same unit and the same war.
Same fucking mud hut town, too.
He looks around, then wipes his face with his armored glove.
Okay, good.
I hope this comes away as empathetic. I really do. His parents left him in a fucking leaf compactor.
Who? Lely?
Yeah, when he was small, just an infant.
We researched him. We contacted the ICP and looked at his birth records. That was in there. And other things.
They fucking put Lely in a leaf compactor, and now these cunts finished the job.
He waves at the gang huddled by the doors.
It's a mind fuck, Corty. He wasn't put in a leaf compactor. They're making it up to fuck with us. Major, permission to.
Open fire. We can't have that. Interfere now.
Everyone says good things about him. You're Lely. Everyone says good things about him. He was a talker. Okay. Okay. Sure.
Fuck do you mean, talker?
We've heard testimony. People say he was charismatic, a nice guy to be around.
Yeah. He liked to chat up the natives. Share leaflets. Squeeze a bit of kip-tass here and there. Great fucking idea that turned out to be.
He points towards the yard.
If Lely was here, he would spare the lot of you. Maybe shoot one for show. But me, I'm not a big fan of public affairs, clay monkey. I'll gun every one of you down for what you did.
Ready to open fire, Major. At your command.
I'm gonna go with the eyes thing. He had blue eyes, your brother?
Baby blue, yeah. Like someone fucked up and put a baby's eyes on a grown man.
He smiles, pulling his face in a strange way.
It was creepy, but bitches like that shit, I guess. Or, I don't know what bitches like. I just know how to mow down cloths.
Your brother did not deserve to go out like that. I promise I will find his killer.
Find his killer? Cop, his killer stands right there, shitting his pants, and you're standing in the way, protecting them. I know what this tactic is, Silo Sam. You're gonna die for them. Right here. Today.
He stares at you, eyes pink from the alcohol, fingers tapping the pistol.
Big talk, but that leaf compactor won't leave his mind anytime soon. It's a small thing, but it got him off center.
I really don't want to shoot him. I don't think he cares about what the Wild Pines rep thinks of this. Sure. I don't know that this is good. My goal here is to try to try to get him to consider the fact that maybe he's not thinking everything all the way through.
Yes. So what?
Yeah, your judgment is impaired. You'll regret this.
Nah. I'm clear as day. Fucking government-ordained super soldier.
Enough already! What is this? We didn't come here to fucking chat!
Interrupt me again and I will execute you on the spot, Lance Corporal.
The outburst is accompanied by a yellowish saliva around his mouth. Got them arguing. That's good. I'm gonna say, where's Klasia? She can explain this.
Who the fuck is that?
Dude, if you don't know, okay.
Klasia, the woman upstairs, where is she?
She left!
The manager calls down from the balcony. Okay, I don't care what he's doing there. What do you mean she left?
She left! Her room's cleaned out! Right before these assholes showed up!
We should have arrested her.
The lieutenant whispers, his eyes still on the armed mercenaries.
You can feel how upset he is with himself. Just for a second. Then the fear takes over and he's back in the moment.
Hey, Bushman! Your little cunt isn't gonna help you out of this one!
I'm not going to stand here quietly and hope nothing bad happens. It's a bad call. The Wild Pines rep. He is going against orders. I'm going to say it.
You think I care what that company cunt thinks?
Wild Pines is not going to forgive you of massacring a bunch on innocent people. We're working together. She knew you're out of control. She told me. Okay, he doesn't care what she thinks, but he might care what his employer thinks? The fingers crossed? The man stares at you with bloodshot eyes, a bull ready to charge. He's not listening, but looking for an opening. We're working together.
She's gone, you stupid fuck. Sailed off 5 minutes ago. She doesn't give a shit about you silos. Stay cool! Don't do anything stupid!
Titus shouts to his men in the background.
The company bitch is gone. Laylee's cunt is gone. Laylee's gone. Fuck are we still doing in this shithole?
He looks around, tired suddenly, sad even.
Guys, I just get in the way. I don't even have a gun!
Shanky, don't do that.
Hold your ground. Any more of you run, I'll shoot you myself. We're doing this together.
They're huddled close in a formation. Still, the rest will stay. Even if it means dying here with him.
I don't understand the benefit of shooting him. I don't know if she has a gun. I assume that she does. You can sort of see it right there. But this guy definitely does. A lot of people are going to die here so that I can kill that guy. Shit! I don't know what to do. I'm going to take the shot. Oh, no!
A small explosion expels the bullet from the chamber. With a puff of smoke, it hits the man square in the chest, producing a soft clicking sound in the armor. Like dice rolling, the kinetic energy of the 9mm front-loaded bullet is distributed evenly across the chest piece and into his hands.
Go ahead. Have another try.
Oh, I am the master of failing those high percentage rolls. Throw the gun at him. I'm so fucked. Well, I knew it wouldn't do anything if I hit him in the chest. Do nothing.
Kill him.
To your right, the killer raises his rifle and takes aim at you. His moves are steady, but the long barrel of the rifle sways slowly. An Easter AR-FA-7, built for taking out light armored vehicles. It will devastate you.
Where's Kim?
From the corner of your eye, you see the lieutenant raise his pistol and aim it at Rude. He's trying to find a straight line of sight before the rifleman can take you out.
If I blink, I die. I've only got a fraction of a second. If I can fail a 97% chance or whatever that was, 83%, do it.
The shot rings and you stumble. Something violently tugs at your shoulder, pushing you backwards with incredible force.
Does it pop some drugs?
A volcano of burning pain erupts from your left shoulder.
God, please.
The lieutenant says quietly, without trembling. He aims, face pale.
He's aiming for the eye slot in Rude's helmet. An extremely difficult shot. He has to. The rifleman will fire at you again. Then, 2 shots reach your hands, and you hear a scream. But you're too hurt to see who got hit.
It was Kim that screamed.
Glenn, dying in a puddle of blood behind you. His mangled torso has 2 gunshot wounds. Blood gushes out of them like red geysers.
You see, oh God, you see 2 cold eyes looking at you through all the smoke and panic, and a pistol raised aiming at your chest, point blank. Then the man squeezes the trigger. Well, there's no point in doing this. Look him in the eye?
A look of happiness. His eyes seem unnaturally bright, shining like stars. Something in the fear must distort him somehow. He is evil, and the end. Here it comes. Death.
Evade the shot! I did... Nope, that's it.
You can't. There is no time. Something inside your pelvis explodes. Your entire lower body is on fire, and your legs can't support you. You fall down like a rag doll. The pain is too immense to scream. It pushes the air out of your lungs. Everything goes dark. A distant blur as you recede into it.
Let's listen through the darkness and pain.
The Hardy Boys are yelling. Someone is running, jumping over you. In the background, you hear gunfire shatter glass, and then a man in pain. A familiar sound. It's Titus with a splat like meat. You hear bullets rip into him. His voice, still giving orders, grows fainter. A gurgle.
I'm not going to touch my lower body. I don't think I'm going to like what I find there. What do I see?
Nothing. A persisting darkness. Dancing lights of pain. Distant shadows cast by them. Like a hellish play.
You're bleeding out.
Out of it, a silhouette appears, crouching over you. You hear a familiar voice filled with urgency and fear. No one wants to do anything with me. No one wants to party with me. Come on, of course. Although you do have the oddest thoughts when you are in a really bad way. I made it up, I remember, and then we're not going to say that. There's a white shadow that smells like apricots. It's always there. I like that one. We're going to say there's a white shadow that smells like apricots.
Stay with me.
It said I have a vast soul. Do I have a vast soul? She would have started loving me again, but I called to her and now she won't. I called her. Did I do that? I don't remember doing that. Please call her Kim. She won't listen to me. No, I'm going to ask about the vast soul.
Yes, keep talking. You hear me? Stay awake.
But you can't. It's so hard. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the sounds ever more distant. And a cold comes over you. The lieutenant, too, is somewhere far away, almost gone. When suddenly, you sense something behind him. A shadow towering. Someone stands there, raising his pistol at him. The lieutenant does not see it. He's pushing down on your wound with both hands.
So I'm going to go with authority here. very high, 97%, which I think we're learning in this game means that I've got like a 40% chance of success.
No, you scream. Behind you, from your bloody lips, your eyes are full of fear. There is no room for hesitation. The lieutenant turns around and fires, his body falling on yours in the course of the motion. You hear a roar of pain, a death scream. The sound disappears like someone pressed stop on the tape. The hulking figure, too, is gone. And so is Kim, and the whole world.
This is death. One more door, baby. One more door.
No, let me back into the fight.
The fight? There is no fight. The fight is over. It was lost 1,000 years ago. You have laid here forever. Keep falling deeper. Take the door. He's not taking it. His body is not taking it. Oh God, no. He's not disintegrating. He's swelling up instead. Over the hours. Hurting. Moaning in his sleep. And rotting. And being disinfected. And smelling of drugs and feeling saliva in his mouth. Drifting in painkillers. Thrashing in his wound sleep.
There is a radio in the distance, a radio of the world, playing sounds. Good morning, Elysium. Soon we will return to the world.
Hours turn to days. Soon we will get up again and go through it again. Finally we know what the infernal engine was outside. The clarion call.
The engine of a Caprice Kinema.
No, it was him. He is the infernal engine. Can't you see? He never stops. He only gets worse.
You see the lieutenant's familiar shape in the orange jacket. It turns double, then triple, from the pain.
So without any spoilers, like for real, no spoilers, I'm just curious, like for people who are familiar with the game, how many of you have seen this playthrough, or how common is this? I don't know how to phrase it because I don't want to know. I guess I'm just curious. I don't know if there's a way to answer that question without giving me too much information. I'm just curious if this is if this is the way that it goes for most people, because I had such a high percentage chance to take that shot. And hello to Moo, by the way. I wasn't ignoring you. It's kind of a big deal. Kim.
Sunrise, Parabellum.
The lieutenant says he's in the middle of a freshly cleaned room with the fan above his head like a halo. His face is covered in bruises. Start simple. Ouch.
It's not ouch time yet. You just got the Dramamine pill an hour ago. Wait until it wears off.
Dramamine? Then it's not that bad. Neither surgical nor organ damage bad, but still under the counter bad.
So Sarzand is saying, okay, so Elf is saying there's no answering that. Thank you guys very, very much for like tiptoeing around the spoilers. If you guys are here when we hit credits, I will, I usually don't replay games, so at that point all of those other possibilities will be open for conversation, and I would legitimately love to hear some of the things that you guys can share about the other ways that could have gone, because Sarzand is also saying the tribunal can have vastly different outcomes depending on everything that you did in your playthrough. It was occurring to me that I'm just going to pause here for 1 second to talk about one thing specific. At the end there, I had two possibilities. Take the shot or stand there and hope that nothing bad happens. That second option became tempting to me at the end because I was thinking to myself, if I hadn't found the gun, if I hadn't gone back to get it, if Inland Empire hadn't warned me, you really want to go get your gun, and then I went back and got it. If I just sort of walked up the street not knowing what to expect and gotten thrust into that, there needed to be a way to proceed that didn't result in inevitable death. And if that's true, then not taking the shot has to be a viable option. And then I thought to myself, that's too metagamey. I have the gun in my hand. I've taken some speed. I've upped my reflexes, specifically because Inland Empire told me that I should do it. My cop instinct spoke up, and it's saying, you need to be ready for something. You don't know what it is. And here I am. I went back and got the gun. I put on my hand-to-eye coordination stuff. I actually have a thought in my head that gives me a bonus against people wearing that armor. I'm going to take the shot. And then I fucking missed anyway. So it's like, but I'm just explaining like why I took the shot, even though I said a couple times that I didn't want it to end in violence, because it earnestly seemed like the most logical thing to do in that circumstance, and it still went wrong. So I can note that the room is clean, and again, you do have honest, like super weird thoughts when you're on drugs and whatever. But I'm going to ask, you know what I'm going to ask? How bad am I hurt?
Pretty bad, officer. You've suffered 2 wounds. The first is below your shoulder. The bullet passed through your shoulder blade, luckily missing your lung and heart.
Sorry, Elf is saying you've had some pornographically poor rolls. That's very good. I like it.
The second shot hit you in the thigh, the left quadriceps. No major arteries were nicked, but the bullet had to be removed. Bacterial infection was treated with mercurochrome.
I assume I can walk. I'm sitting up okay in my little, athletic tights.
We will see.
You won't be able to dance much, that's for sure. You should be able to live with limping around, though.
Are you hurt?
Not very. I have a concussion from the Major beating me with the butt of his gun. I tried to not move too much. Things would be worse if you didn't warn me. Thank you. I did not see him coming. Stupid of me.
I guess I'll ask if anybody from the station has been to see me.
No.
A man and a woman sit in the front seat of an armored motor carriage. The woman is driving. The man lights a cigarette. Jean Vicmer is his name. The asphalt vanishes under the wheels of the machine. Ahead, harbor cranes rise to the sky. Back to that shithole, he says.
I'm gonna ask, isn't that strange? I don't know quite how to phrase this, but how do I want to phrase this? Even if they don't like me very much, my character has solved 200 odd cases. You would think that that would earn him some degree of respect, even if they don't like him and view him properly as being a drug-addled mess of a human being. It seems a little bit odd that nobody would even come by.
I called your station after the fight. The injury was logged in. They told me they've sent officers to join you on the site.
And you haven't seen any, have you?
I'm sure they're worried about you.
That means he hasn't seen them around while you were out. They're not really worried about you. If they were, wouldn't they be here?
I'm going to ask it. If they, this might cost me a morale point, but if they're so worried about me, where are they?
I don't know.
He may have some idea, but he's not gonna get into it with you.
All right. If not my station, then who treated me?
I did.
Thank you.
No need.
Okay. I wonder if I'm going to have a new walk animation. It's like a big limp.
Easy now.
Lieutenant turns double again before your eyes, an orange hue of pain.
Your balance is way off. You feel like you're about to fall over on that thing.
How are you?
My disco days are done. Let's rock. Who cares? Who cares about me? It doesn't matter. I'm very bad, Kim. Things are very bad. Yeah, man. Like, why would you not say this at this point?
The lieutenant doesn't reply, just looks at you teetering on your feet.
So now that I'm standing up and get a good look at around, the room is clean.
Mr. Gart cleaned it. It took him an entire day.
How long have I been out?
2 days, in and out. You've been up enough to take Dramamine and curse, and drink water.
Did I not ask what happened? That's the first thing that I asked. What did you say about sunrise?
Sunrise parabellum. Sunrise, prepare for war. It's an old revolutionary saying.
It's engraved on my gun. I'll remember that for all my days.
Cops like it.
Is it war today?
The gates of the harbor are boarded up. The streets are a little more empty. Apocalyptic violence is yet to erupt, I am relieved to say.
He looks out the window.
I think we may have held it off, for now. Barely.
Well, that's good.
Yes, we have also completely failed. But that's okay.
So, I feel like I already asked what happened, but...
What happened? You shot the Major, and successfully. A firefight ensued.
And what happened next?
As retaliation, the rifleman shot you. He hit. With his carabine. I was looking for a clear line of sight. When I found it...
He sounds a tiny bit sorry he did not find it before you got hit.
I shot and wounded him, while Glenn took a bullet in the spine. It was meant for me. He did not survive.
This is not the first person to die in his place. He goes on.
Titus, Fat Angus, and Theo charged. Angus and Theo died before they made it to intensive care. Titus died in the hospital. Yesterday. Alain and the young musician, I forget his name, they are all that's left.
Oh, Titus is dead.
Yes. You were bleeding out. I think you said something about your wife, and you warned me. I was able to disarm the Major before he got a jump on me.
Thank you, although...
I was not able to kill him, as I should have. Crenel took him. A stray bullet killed the Pole, though. And that's what happened.
We never, ever got to talk to DePaul. I don't know if she's encounterable before that moment. I never had any leads on where she was, what building to check, who to talk to about her. We knew that she was around, but yeah. Lieutenant takes a cigarette from his coat pocket and lights it. A bitter smell fills the room. So I can note that Titus is dead again. I don't know if that... It's not darkened.
Yes.
He pulls on his cigarette intently. I thought you only smoked one a day. That seems like not the most important topic right now.
This is the one.
And the Major?
He's in a private hospital across the river. Crenel claimed him from the local butcher shop where Titus died. Turns out he's insured. We won't get to him anymore. The good news is he's not coming here either. I did some damage.
How many casualties on the Union side total?
4. Glenn, Theo, Angus. The fat one. He took a lot of bullets. And Titus.
And that's...
all.
It is an absolute disaster. I can think of several ways how it could have gone better. It's a total shit show. It's a total shit show, Kim.
Yes, officer. 6 people are dead. It's not a success.
+1. Ruby.
But what's done is done. The violence is cordoned off. The Hornets did not get into the beehive. The worst scenario has not materialized. Yet. And we are still alive. Both of us.
Huzzah!
He did not expect you both to survive once you stepped between those two armies.
I did not expect it either. Just to, reveal, when I missed that shot on the guy, I thought for sure I'm going to die here and it's going to force a reload, because we actually did have, a case earlier where my character died and I had to reload. So I'm now glad that we did that, because it did establish that the game will not just continue going on if you make a severe enough mistake. So I very much felt like I was going to die, and if it didn't, when I didn't die immediately, I thought, oh, that's it for Kim. They're going to kill him. So that is surprising to me. All right, what happens now?
I honestly don't know.
What do I know? Well, I know what I was going to do. It doesn't feel plausible anymore. I would now have to wait an entire another day to try to get the boots off the dead guy. I don't even feel like that's a logical thing to try to do anymore. So I don't know either.
We can't talk to Everard. The harbor is in lockdown. Everyone in there is outside our grasp now. And Joyce has left too. Yes, she left yesterday morning. To meet the board of Wild Pines. Oh, that is what I've heard. There's a pin somewhere in the machine that keeps Connell from sending in a death squad.
Kim looks out the window.
Maybe it's her. Maybe she kept her hand. Either way, Ruby's gone. And Claudia too. We really should have arrested her, you know?
The only reason I didn't arrest her is because both she and Titus said that if her name got into the system, then we would... Then like a death squad would be sent for her. And I didn't want her to... I felt like I'd be losing access to a witness, and also from what little we could make out about what she was guilty of, I didn't think that she deserved to die for it. In retrospect, it seems like that was all a big con job, a sympathetic story to cause me to not ask any questions or take any actions against her. Wait, you've checked? She's really...
Guard confirmed she left 20 minutes prior to the tribunal showing up.
Isn't that amazing timing? Who did it, Kim? Who killed the hanged man?
I don't know. I think the theory you presented, it's someone else, outside our circle of suspects, was right. It better be. Everyone within the circle is either dead or gone. Honestly, I think our investigation has not produced a single credible suspect.
His voice is calm, matter-of-factly. What it has done, though, is ruled out all of the other suspects, or it's ruled out a number of suspects. That they've also been quasi-ruled out by the fact that they're all dead now. It's not Ruby, it's not Titus. I don't know if it was Claudia. It doesn't make a lot of sense for it to be. So, this is because I'm a La Putra Madre peon, isn't it? Fucking Maybells, Kim. The flowers. Well, that is true. We do have that as a hanging puzzle piece. It could be a weird coincidence, but boy, it's a weird coincidence because they don't do that. What about the hole in the ouch wall? Someone was checking her out. I mean, probably. That could be a red herring. That actually could be a red herring. The goddamn footprints. That's right. Yeah, okay, yeah. No, the footprints were fresh. The footprints behind the wall were fresh in the dust. Someone was back there more recently. And Gart didn't appear to know anything about it. 28% chance that the shot came from a distance. The antique bullet. How hard can it be to find one? That seems like the most... The antique bullet. That does feel like the most relevant, important, unique piece of information that we have. Azric is just getting home from work, so not too bad. Easy day. Oh, and hello to Azric. And Elf Planetor has to take off. Hello to Angel. Yes, I hope that you're having a great day. It sounds like it was a nice, easy day, so I'm glad for that.
It's extremely easy. There are thousands lying around. We found one, all completely unusable. It's precisely how easy it is to find one that makes the bullet useless.
Really? It's that pointless? Okay, how about the footprints?
Yes, God cursed the footprints, not solving the case for us. Au diable.
The hole in the wall, someone was checking her out, as evidenced by the footprints.
I don't know. That's been there for years.
We can ask him about the Maybells.
What?
Yank it out and show the dried flowers while it falls to pieces. This one, remember?
Every piece of garbage in the city is not connected to the case. You don't have to keep everything.
He's wrong.
Okay, every piece of garbage in the city is connected to the case.
Okay.
He concedes, clearly not meaning it. Okay, there's all these old bunkers and weapon caches from the Revolutionary era. That's where the guns come from.
We could find thousands more if we wanted. All of Revachol is full of them.
This really feels completely hopeless. Like, completely hopeless. Brian is saying, today is my last day of vacation. Well, Brian, enjoy it. Like, whether it's this or something else, anything that you like to do, embrace it. Like, I think people had a really good time watching your Outer Worlds stream yesterday. Like, whether it's that or another game that you want to play, visiting with friends or family, having a great meal someplace, whatever it is, find any way to enjoy this last day of vacation. There's still a 28% chance that it came from a distance.
We should go upstairs, rethink the ballistics in situ. I agree with this. What else?
Okay, we'll go take a look at that. This is because I'm La Putra Madre's peon, isn't it?
Don't be narcissistic. Half the cops in Revachol West are his peonies. Even if you are, it is not a decisive factor in this case.
That does make some sense.
Okay, well, I didn't know that half the cops in Revachol West were his peonies. You know what I think about solving crimes?
He arches his brow. The ceiling fan patiently spins overhead.
Solving crimes is hard, but I've done it 200-odd times, so...
It really is very hard.
He sounds surprisingly weary.
You're not ready to give up, are you?
No. Are you ready to limp?
I'm ready.
Good. Where do you want to limp to?
The lieutenant did mention doing more ballistics.
We should check Klaas's room upstairs.
Why not?
He extinguishes the cigarette on the sole of his boot.
Another look at the window, perhaps? The one he was shot through. I don't know. I can't think of anything better.
Cleaning out the rooms. What if you didn't lose your memory? What if something in Martinez came and stored it all away, for you to slowly open one box at a time, so you can choose which parts to keep? Keep almost none of it. Only the flowers on the windowsill. Only the distant sound of a radio. Lose all the actors, the dark shadows. Leave only the still lifes. The blissful distant wash of waves. If everybody knew, you never did. She'll be coming soon. That is all.
So finishing that thought gave me all of the things that I said it was absolutely not going to give me. What appears to be a permanent +1 in suggestion, Inland Empire, and rhetoric. At least two things that I greatly value. Would that have made, and this is a perfectly rhetorical question, would that have made a difference if I had waited the extra 4 minutes? Remember when I had the option to wait 4 minutes and get this unlocked? And I said, I don't know what it is, but what if it's some kind of penalty? And then I'll really regret waiting the 4 minutes because I don't reload bad decisions. I'm not just fucking A. Oh, I love it so much. And as Sarzan says, that perfect timing. I don't actually know that that would have made it, like if it had been +1 hand-to-eye coordination, I really would be putting my face to the desk. But yeah, there it is. You can unlock permanent upgrades. Now, I do have 2 additional points, and I'm not going to spend them right now. Let's go upstairs and take a look at the thing. I used to have the a quest to take a bath. It was wash off the death smell. It was somewhere in here. Oh, I slept through an entire day. Look, Saturday's completely gone. Yeah, because that was Friday. What are we on now? Hold on a second. Yeah, day 7. We skipped right past day 6. That's a nice touch. Okay, let me go in here and look at it. You see gleaming white enamel, no bottles inside. The door's open, you can walk right into Kim's room. Okay, I guess I'll do that. I was gonna get changed, these pants suck. I'm gonna put on my visual calculus glasses, especially if we're going to interrogate that window. What other set of pants do I want? These, the composure pants, I think. And then my regular cop jacket, which I don't remember where it is. There it is. Oh, and yeah, let's put the gun away. And -1 empathy. No, I don't like having a negative empathy for sure. Let's put on my drama shirt again. And I should really save it. Like, we're gonna do a save over that. Alright, I do not see an option to wash off the death smell.
The bathroom mirror has been...
I could never come in here before. The alarm set is set for 6:50. And I wake up at what, 7:30, I guess?
These papers bear the stamp of the RCM. They appear to be fragments of the lieutenant's paperwork, half finished. You may have notes on this and other recent cases.
I had Garth open the door to your room. You were running a low bacterial fever the first night.
Thank you for keeping this thing alive for a little longer. I'm not going to say that. No. I thought I was dead for a moment.
Back there on the plaza, I think you very nearly had a heart attack. Alcoholism has damaged you more than bullets have. We should go.
Alright, well, I will note, Kim, that the alcoholism thing, I am working on that. That's actually the other thought that I have working in the background.
I am sure neither of us feels
okay. Let's look at this. Medicinal supplies on the cupboard, mercurochrome, a scalpel, and antibiotics, and that looks like everything that I can interact with in here. Oh, but I still can't go out the front door. Nope, locked forever. Oh. The leg hurts. Maybe if you don't run, it'll be okay. Oh, so there could be an actual consequence to, like... Yeah, maybe I'll move a little slowly. Looks like she left something on the table.
Next to the stack of bills, you see a note. A few lines jotted down in large, uneven handwriting, just as the writer was about to rush out the door. I'm sorry. I fucked everyone over. P.S. I didn't kill him. P.P.S. Gift upstairs.
A gift?
Lieutenant turns to the staircase suspiciously, looking for any signs of another presence in the shadows above. Speculating about the gift, he doesn't know anything more than I do. Seems she left in a hurry.
It's hardly surprising.
Okay, so we will ask about the gift.
I am not drawing my gun. Yet. But I don't like gifts.
He says he's not, but his hand moves instinctively toward his holster as he studies the note.
Leave. You guys, I cannot believe I missed that shot.
The medicine cabinet is empty. Not even a toothbrush. Pity.
She's really cleaned this out.
Mm-hmm. She certainly had her priorities straight when she was packing.
So if I say I was kind of hoping the gift would be in here, that's just underscoring to Kim that my character's a drug addict, which he very much is, but I don't see the benefit of pointing that out to my partner. A red thread made of nylon. It leads out of the room and onto the roof. That's where the shot came from. That's what it's showing us. That's where the breakage was in the window. Do I need anything else to, like, bump up my visual calculus? I'm probably pretty good all the way around. Yeah, I don't have any negatives to it. All right, let's check the window.
You see the same two neon-lit shapes. A man and a woman. Only now a red thread bisects the room, pointing from the antenna outside to the cupboard on the wall.
This is ballistics. She's left a trajectory for us.
The lieutenant tests the thread with his finger. Drawn taut, it rebounds instantly.
A ray of backward motion explodes from his mouth to the roof outside, A prime, to then widen into a radius of locations in Martinez, B prime, B double prime, and B triple prime.
Where does the thread lead?
It suggests the bullet came from the extreme upper quadrant of possible angles, from a point beyond the roof, B triple prime, the island in the bay.
She's trying to tell us that the shot came from the islet. How did she know how to do this?
She was there that night. She would have known precisely where the bullet hole was in the glass.
Well, okay, but that assumes that the window didn't completely shatter, which I feel like our little graphic here indicates that it did. It wasn't like a perfect, just hole punch through. You would have expected it to break the glass just based on the kinetic force of the bullet hitting it, and at an angle, not going directly through. Okay, Kim, I guess.
She had a long time to think about it after, standing on that roof, staring at the glass.
Klaasja's no dummy, for sure.
It also looks like there may be more to her skill set than we know. The question is, should we trust her?
I don't know, if she left in a hurry, but she took the time to do this. I've been dead wrong on everything about Klaasja the whole way through. However, it seems to me like if I was in a hurry to get out, anything that I stopped to take the time to very carefully lay out would be something super important and not just more random misdirection. I just don't know.
Indeed. Neither do I.
He's used to knowing who to trust. This makes him uncomfortable.
Is she trying to tell us that the shot came from the islet?
Unless she thinks the perpetrator was standing on the ring antenna. That is where the thread seems to point.
There are ruins on that islet, sunken sea fort. I saw it through the coin-operated viewer.
I remember.
He looks out the window and onto the bay. This is also the only point of origin we haven't ruled out yet. And, again, how is there... I guess I'm going to just call this a rhetorical question for now, but is there a way I could have ruled it out? As far as I can tell, I have no access to that islet until maybe next.
So it is.
For a second he seems tired.
Maybe we need to go to the island.
The wind blows in from the open window. The lieutenant sighs, looking into the cold distance across the water. He is trying to justify it to himself. The lead is flimsy. You might as well go around Martinez looking under every rock and talking to every person. But what else is there?
Also, we tried that logic. That's been our whole playthrough so far. Why would I not go to the island? Let's pause for a second to think, what else do I have here? I can't imagine that Gart has anything to say. Titus is dead. Most of the Hardy Boys are dead. I guess Elizabeth is still alive. We can't go talk to Everard. Is there something else I should be doing? I'm gonna say let's go to the island. I'm gonna go to the island.
Of course. I mean...
He takes a second to gather himself, then says...
How do we get there? Joyce Messier had a sloop, but she's gone.
Lillian has a boat?
Ah, yes, of course. The village. Let's go.
All right. I would be legitimately upset if it was like, oh, there was this one, pier that I just never walked down, and then that would have allowed us to check that area. Having this gated behind story progress, which it feels like it is, I'm not, I don't know for sure, but it seems like this was not a possibility before. Makes me feel better about not having found it. I'm not sure how I feel about that in totality, though, because we should talk to people on the way out. But a mystery that can't be solved, I don't think that that's how this game is built either, so...
Oh, you're up.
It's good to see you back on your feet. Did you like your room? I cleaned it for you.
I did, thank you. Big improvement.
You're welcome. I thought it would be nice for you to wake up in a clean place after you, let's be fair, defended this establishment and its clientele from gunfire. I give credit where credit is due, and that, sir, was an honest effort. I was watching until it went down. Crawled inside then. Bullets started flying. Anyway.
He really wants you to realize that he was also on the balcony looking by, in the danger zone, so to say.
I wish you a quick recovery. Also, you and your partner are staying here free now. This establishment supports cops. The stay is free, the drinks are not. It just felt I needed to specify that.
Where did everyone go? Where could they possibly have decided to go after what a raucous night?
Oh, you know, people don't tend to stick around after shootouts. Turns out they're not good for business.
I am very much wondering what happened to the man with the sunglasses.
I don't remember everyone who comes here, and many people wear sunglasses inside lately. Must be a fad.
So I have to mention, when it happened, you were right out there on the balcony.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. That's because I'm a badass.
It really took courage. Don't pick at him.
If you say it as two different words like that, it sounds like there's something wrong with your ass. No, I'm not going to say that. Just nod stoically, because this seems like it might be sarcastic.
He nods back at you, even more stoically. Just two badass men nodding. Make that three. The lieutenant is nodding too, hands crossed.
I don't know if people saw it, but the three people were actually nodding at each other in the little character models. All right, thanks.
No problem. They'll come back. They always do.
So I'm just gonna say I don't know that we've discovered anything new, but
another thing.
Nope.
Great. Yes.
Okay. All right, so Gart finally doesn't hate my character. We can ask Smoker on the balcony if he... Oh, look how few Hardys there are now.
Hi again, Gendarme.
Composure? Put a skill
Bye-bye,
into
Gendarme.
composure? I don't think that I'm going to do that.
Seeing you approach, the bruised man raises his beer can in welcome.
Oh, it's you. Didn't think we'd see you walking anytime soon. Elaine, look. It's the cowardly cop.
The cowardly cop? Is that how I'm known now? After what just went down? I'm a coward, am I? That's the lesson that you pulled from that, Eugene. Interesting. Where were you during the fight, just out of curiosity?
Huh? What?
Elaine looks up, his eyes full of confusion, as if he'd just woken up from a deep sleep. What a coward! Getting shot twice.
Our condolences for your losses.
Kim says with a little nod, but the remaining Hardy boys don't seem to register his words. Is he okay? Referencing Elaine.
Does he look like he's okay?
He does not. His unshaven face is almost grey, and he reeks of piss, sweat, and booze.
How badly was he hurt?
He wasn't. That's the thing. Titus, Theo, Dennis, Angie, Elizabeth, they're all gone. But he got away without a scratch.
There's nothing left. Nothing.
This is a broken man. He probably feels that he should have been able to protect the others somehow. And now he feels guilty for not dying with them. Or instead of them.
I'll whisper to Kim, but he's basically describing survivor guilt.
I'm not suggesting much. All I'm saying is, he lost everything.
So here's my options, and I'll highlight the ones that I'm not going to go with. This is terrible, but I don't think I could go on living after this. My character's not in that much of a different place. Like, I didn't know the Hardy Boys as well as he did, but shit, I mean, I got shot twice. If I embrace that seems really dark. Also, you'll get over it. Sure, just go ahead and hand wave the pain that he's feeling. I don't think so. So we're gonna go with the only option that is slightly palatable. Shit is tough, but you need to get off your ass and finish this.
What?
Krenel Wild Pines, all the people responsible for the deaths of your friends, you're just gonna leave it like that. Little guy who ran Shanky, you're just gonna leave him like that? Well, I don't want to direct his anger at Shanky. I'm just gonna go with this.
Sons of bitches.
He mumbles something in Mesk. When he sinks down on the table again, a malevolent smile spreading across his face.
Was this really the best idea? I guess you may have prolonged his existence a bit, if he can still remember this when he sobers up.
If you think this will keep him from offing himself, I'll make sure to remind him. So far, I've just been pouring whiskey in him to keep him sedated.
Eugene, I'm not going to forgive you for the cowardly cop thing. That's outrageous. Sure. Any idea what happened to Klasia?
Damn songbird of misery, that one.
The man shakes his head.
And do you have any information on this songbird of misery?
God said she took off sometime before the firefight. That's all. Trying to remember if there was anything... Oh, yeah. He said she seemed to be in a real hurry.
She's gone. Face it.
What's going to happen? So I have a question that I want to ask here, and this is as close to like spoiler information as I ever ask. I have to assume the answer is yes. But the question for people like Sarzan who might know, would you say that there is more or less than an hour of this left? Because I'll just let you know, my plan from this point would be to go directly to the island. I'd have to assume that there's more than an hour, but the only reason I'm asking is that if somebody were to indicate to me, actually you're real close to the end, then I would just keep on going, because it feels like all the threads are being tied shut. There's no one to talk to. There's nowhere to go. There's no conversations to be had. I do feel like we're rounding it out. Okay, so Sarzan is saying there's a few hours left, and that is very much appreciated. Brian is saying, okay, Angel, I'll see you later. Thanks for stopping by, and everybody else. Yeah, Brian, enjoy your day. Knowing your playstyle more like 3 hours. That fair. So, what is going to happen to the Hardy Boys now that Titus is dead?
Titus is fucking dead.
What's gonna happen to the Hardy Boys? Look around you, man. This shit is done. There are no more Hardy Boys.
So you're just going to go back to hauling containers?
No, man. I don't know. I guess the Union will still be policing the neighborhood, but who's gonna do it now?
I vote that we give Elaine a purpose.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll see what he does with the whole Shanky business.
Okay, take care, guys.
Yeah, you too. It's a rough world out there. It's not easy being a cop. We were too hard on you.
Why did you call me cowardly cop? Did I misunderstand that part of the conversation? Oh, I can't go back that far. Okay. Because that's way more sensible.
Both of you. We shouldn't have fucked with you like we did. You got between us and a lot of bullets in that fight. Matinees owes you one.
Okay, I'm going to mentally cross off cowardly cop from him because that doesn't fit with anything else that he just said.
That's kind of you to say. Take care of your friend, okay?
I will. You take care of yours.
He nods to you.
A sharp pain shoots up your side and into your stomach. You must not look too good. Luckily, it passes.
All right, let's take a look at our journal. Go to the island. I have no idea where I would go for this. Locate a working firearm, unless it's on the island. Are you La Putra Madre's thing? Oh, I can go talk to them. Okay, so wash off the death smell. Good place to visit once you have some privacy, so I'd have to have Kim out of here. Send the victim's body off for processing. I'm borderline giving up on getting the hangman's boots. What we're gonna do now is I'm gonna walk out here. It wouldn't surprise me if the traffic jam is, well, I was about to say resolved, but then again, where would they go if the harbor district is completely boarded up now? If anything, you'd think it would just be worse, but... Kim, I think I've picked up on something new in the environment. I can't quite put my finger on it.
The graffito has been painted over the traces of the fight that took place here. It smells of blood and heavy fuel oil. This was Cindy the Skull.
Looks like Cindy the Skull finally found the words for a masterpiece.
The lieutenant crouches, touching the fuel oil with his finger.
Looks like it, yes. This is still fresh. It wasn't here yesterday.
And that might sound like a... But remember, we miss an entire day. Like, we missed all of Saturday. So, that is actually information. I smell heavy fuel oil.
And blood. Some of it is even yours.
Heavy fuel oil. Isn't that flammable?
No. I don't think so. At least not right now. Okay, so we're gonna do a real save here. My only... So here's what happens next. When we come back for Disco Elysium, which will probably be tomorrow, that's going to be one day from... I don't know why I decided to specify for people what tomorrow is. I expect it to be our final episode. That will be the big finale of Disco Elysium. This is episode 18. I really would have liked to finish on episode 20. That's always nice. But if Sarzand is giving a... like a good accurate estimate, probably 3 hours. That's very likely that we would do that in a single thing. Here's going to be the things that we do for the next episode. Number 1, we're going to buy some more health cures, because it's been implied, at least, that if my character runs, I'm going to lose health points now because he's in so much pain. So I definitely want to have more health than like the 2 health points that I have, health cures that I have right now. Number 2, I'll probably buy some more cigarettes. Number 3, I may or may not attempt to buy some dice, although I expect that they would take more than a full day to come in. And number 4, I might buy a book from the place just in case we need to spend any time. Then we're going to go to the island and we're going to see what's there and see if we can bring the case to some sort of resolution. Centrifugal Force says, I need more of an explanation of what tomorrow is, please. Tomorrow is the place that Tom Cruise never quite arrives at through most of the movie Edge of Tomorrow, if that helps. And our goal for our next episode will be to finish the game Disco Elysium. And if possible, I would really love to have Sarzand and Elf Planitor and anybody else who might have been lurking or watching in the background to have a conversation. I will legitimately like to know the questions that I'll have at that time. Number 1, have I arrived at the worst ending? I don't want to know right now, but the questions will involve, is this actually the worst ending short of like a game over because you shoot yourself in the mouth on day 2 or whenever that was? Because right now it feels like it. I guess the exceptions would be if there's a version of the ending where you just straight up never solve the case or succumb completely to drug brain or alcoholism or whatever else. Those things are all possible. But that'll be one of the questions that I have. Number 2, have people seen other playthroughs of this style? And what I mean specifically is one of the goals for this is to avoid save scumming as much as possible. We're actually up now to 3 reloads, one of them being during this episode when I thought maybe I could make it to the bookstore and it started to play the scene. I immediately exited out because I didn't want to know what was going to happen. I jumped out right there, but that's where like the mechanics of it were a little bit unclear and I wasn't sure what was going to trigger it, so I reloaded past that. Aside from that, I have abided by all the successes and all the failures as it's gone. It's been a lot of fun, and I feel like it has hopefully heightened the sense of stakes for people watching as well. Because when I succeed, it's like a miracle. And when I fail, it's like, hey, even at 92%, I can fail those checks. But the point is that the decisions have mattered all the way through because I don't reload past the decisions that didn't work out in the way that I'd wanted. And that to me is fun. So even if it is somehow the worst ending, at least it is the ending that I earned. So those will be fun things to talk about over the credits as they go. Tomorrow is definitely a good 3 hours to go. Yeah, so we will aim at that. And with that, I am now going to find somebody fun to raid, and we will... and I'll tell you this also. It is extremely likely that we'll be back a little bit later today for something that is not Disco Elysium. I would like to continue on with our Uncharted 4 playthrough, so we will be back probably not to finish the game. I think we've got 2 more streams of that as well. But yeah, we will see you guys a little bit later. This is going to be time to get up, do some exercise, interact here at home, get some food. And Sarzan says, hey, I've been following since episode 1. I'll be sure to be there tomorrow for the finale. I can't wait and see you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well, Sar. Yeah, thank you very much, and a quick thank you to everybody else who lurks and hangs out with Centrifugal Force. I hope you're having a great day. There has been a fairly steady viewership of the episodes as they've gone up as VODs. People are clicking through and watching those, so to anybody else who's watching this at some point in the future, hello and welcome to you, and I hope that you've enjoyed the playthrough as much as I've enjoyed doing it. So yeah, we will see you guys, hopefully, for the finale. Until next time, you guys, we're going to find a raid, probably do a raid over to the real QT Pie, who is doing some Dark Souls 3. Tashir just came back. Tashir, I'm trying to remember at this moment exactly where you jumped out, but big events occurred in this episode, so it is a rare example where I might recommend back to somebody. You might want to jump back in at whatever was the last point that you watched and maybe jump ahead in 5-minute increments to see if there's anything exciting. So we're close to the end. Yeah, next episode should be the big finale, and that'll be tomorrow. Okay, we're going to go rejoin the real Cutie Pie, who is doing some Dark Souls 3. As far as I know, she has played all the way through Dark Souls 1 and 2, 100% playthroughs, including all the DLC, and I assume is pursuing that for Dark Souls 3 as well. So won't you please join us for the real Cutie Pie, and we'll see you guys a little bit later today, I hope, for the continuing adventures of Nathan Drake in Uncharted 4. Until then, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.